4459 for Channel Africa News. I am Nolutando Butelezi.
SABC News. Headlines. The African Perspective.
It is 7 minutes after 1 Central African time. Hello, 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 and a very warm welcome to this Good Friday.
It is indeed a Good Friday, is it not?
No, it's a great Friday.
Okay, the weather's not conforming to this.
It's amazing.
First of all,
it's amazing.
Just because you like living in Antarctica where it's snowy and full of penguins, the rest of us in Southern Africa, we prefer the sun. And there must be light, and we're not seeing that today anyway. Not in Johannesburg anyway.
It's fantastic. It really is a Good Friday. And so, happy Easter. You know, if you are a conformist, a believer in, if you're a Christian.
Yeah.
And we hope that this Easter weekend is a safe and blessed one to you. Coming up on this Good Friday?
Especially on the road. Like, be safe on
we
the
can't
road.
stress it enough. We can't stress it enough.
We really can't. So what's coming up on the show this afternoon in the first hour?
Yeah.
The power of protecting your ideas
IP.
and your IP.
Yeah.
This is ahead of World Intellectual Property Day, which will be taking place on the 26th of April this year. And this is as South African music hits global highs, but it faces new threats. AI, downloading and listening to music on unregulated sites. So that means artists and producers are not getting the royalties. AIs are now copying your voice and now creating their own music using your voice. And
you know, you bring up an interesting point. I had never thought of how artists, I mean, I know we've seen it with politicians.
Yeah.
We've seen Trump's deep seeks.
Yes.
Not deep seek.
Deep
what?
No, it's not deep seek. It's a deep.
What is it called, Nompumelelo? You know, when you use a person's voice and it is deep something. It's a deep something. Hey? Deep fake. That's right. DeepSeek is the app. DeepSeek is the app that is like ChatGPT.
So deep fake is the one where they use your voice.
That's right. And so they will take a video of you and it will look like your mouth is moving according to the words. But if you look carefully, they don't quite get it right. But I never thought it would be done with musicians, for instance, right? That's very interesting. Imagine a song coming out and they're using your voice, but it's not your song. And someone somewhere in an obscure place is making money off of it.
Let me tell you something. The AI now is on another level and people are capitalizing on it.
Watch out for your voice, Tebogo.
Listen, I've been approached so many times by these so-called sites saying, can we use your voice? And every single time someone makes something or, you know, using your voice, copying it, using it in a voiceover, whatever, I will get paid.
Yeah.
I was like...
Have you said no?
I said no because I don't trust these things, right? And then in the second hour, we get into conversation with DJ and cultural force Charisse C to discuss her new single, Sirens Interlude. And then finally, we have Maestro Adam Howard joining us to talk more about the Red Bull Symphonic, where Kelvin Momo will be joining an orchestra.
Or
It's-
an orchestra
or
will
an
be
orchestra
joining
will be
Calvin
joining
Momo.
Calvin Momo.
Yeah, get it
Honestly,
right.
it's about time. You know, Calvin Momo's Amapiano is the one that went to private school.
Yes,
It
yes, yes, yes,
sounds
yes.
like it could work perfectly.
100%. We're probably going to be hearing more of the orchestra than anything else, because that is the very basis of Calvin's music. Do join us, engage with us throughout the various conversations. Let us know what you're doing on this Good Friday,
yeah.
and how you are observing it in whichever country that you find yourself. The number to dial is +2763 406 9126 on social media platforms. In fact, you can see us as we have the various conversations in studio, and that's if you go to our social media platforms. YouTube is Channel Africa, Facebook is at Channel Africa, and X is at Channel Africa
At
1,
Channel Africa 1.
Twitter, or rather, X, TikTok
that's the
at
one.
Channel Africa 1, and Instagram at Channel Africa 1.
You can see exactly how we look. We look like Teletubbies today. Nompumelelo is wearing a whole green. All right, you are the which one is it on Teletubbies? And
I have no idea.
I'm in all black. Anyway,
Is there a black Teletubby?
No, we've just made him up. Uprakota.
You know what? It's becoming silly. It's 12 minutes after 1 Central African time.
Got something to say? Are you passionate about issues that matter? Do you have a voice that deserves to be heard? Well, we've got the perfect platform for you. Call in or drop us a WhatsApp on +27 63 406 9126, and we will call you back so you could have your say and be part of the conversation.
30 years of age. I just turned 30 on the 15th of November. So yeah, that's who I am, you know.
It's not just talk, it's your chance to air your views. Share your opinion. Engage with the community that values your perspective. Follow us on our social media. Visit our website at www.channelafrica.co.za and get ready to share your views on Channel Africa, the African perspective. Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Connecting Africa to the world. The Upside with Nompumelelo Ngubeni and Tebogo Lekhuleni bringing you Africa's brightest ideas and untold stories.
I don't need nothing from you. Your beautiful heart is the muse. I've been reckless with my choices. Can't seem to get what the point is. Life can be rough, can be smooth, and not every fact is the truth. Advancing, I've laid down my burden. Can't seem to silence the voices. Oh, what's in this setting? I be that person. We go be your shoulder for the best in anything. Your type no many, they are not ready. I go give you 100%, never no 90. But then amazing, well quality. You are deserving of the love you are not getting. Independently, I take the liberty, and I go love you specially. Oh, all the love, all the care, then they fake don't be hard, baby, give it. I go love you specially. All the love, all the care, them they fake don't be hard, baby, give it. I go love you. Them go wonder why you so colorful. Them go wonder because the melodies on my chest. Cannot get a hold of myself. Yeah. I dey hope say you dey feel the same way. I've been low, the money no fit in me. You be cold, we dancing nose at baby. Many tales to tell. Oh, what's in this setting? I be that person. We gon' be your shoulder for the best in anything. Your type no many, they are not ready. I go give you 100%, never no 90. But then
Love by Arya Star, bringing us to 17 minutes after 1 Central African time as we get ready to have that conversation on IP, intellectual property, and its importance in the time of AI. Yeah?
Absolutely. Have you ever had someone steal your idea? And then act like it was theirs. We've all been there, right? But imagine that happening with a hit song. So coming up, we'll be talking about protecting creativity in a world full of copy-paste culture. The South African music industry is taking over global playlists. 735 million new listener discoveries. 256 million in royalties last year alone.
Sure.
And the South African sound is resonating louder than ever before.
But with the introduction of the Yano.
Especially with the Yano.
Yeah.
But behind every beat, lyric, and creative spark lies one powerful question. Are our artists truly protected? And as World Intellectual Property Day approaches, Mangosuthu University of Technology is putting the spotlight on the creative economy and the challenges threatening its future. Today we'll be diving into this key conversation behind the National IP Awareness Campaign that they will be running. On the line, we've got Dr. Mandla Hlongwane, Deputy Director of IP and Commercialization at Mangosuthu University of Technology. Dr. Mandla, thank you so much for your time and welcome to The Upside.
Greetings to you. How are you, man?
We are fantastic. Let's start off with the basics. What is intellectual property? And why is it so important that we understand and learn how to protect it?
Thank you for the questions and greetings to your listeners. If I may try to explain intellectual property in layman's terms, I would say when we look into intellectual property, we are looking into the creation of the minds, like anything that comes from your mind and you are taking it as a property, and then we say it's an intellect, meaning it derived from the intellect, and when it's a property or the creations or inventions, all that comes from the person's mind. We call it the intellectual property. And this comes as an ideas, but as soon as you are able to transform those ideas into tangible or into materialistic things, and then now you have to talk about how you then protect these kind of properties.
We are joined on the line by Dr. Mandla Hlongwane, Deputy Director of IP and Commercialization at Mangosuthu University of Technology. Ahead of this year's World Intellectual Property Day, which will be taking place on the 26th of April, on how to protect your intellectual property, especially in the creative music industry. Don't go anywhere. We carry on with that conversation.
The Morning Switch Weekend with the Shy Guy.
Just the other day, I went to pick up my daughter from school, and as per usual, her friends don't usually come to my car just to say hellos and goodbyes. So this particular day, they made this comment about my jacket, saying that it's giving baddie vibes. You say my jacket is giving what?
It's giving
baddie vibes.
Baddie.
It got me thinking, where did the baddies come from? Because nothing is new under the sun, as it is said. I was like, oh yes, remember the Kenyan parliamentarian? Her name is Millie Odhiambo.
When you are urging me to be a good example to the girls, the younger ones who are doing their first term, Mr. Speaker, if they are good girls, they'll never get corner office. Be as bad as Millie Odhiambo, you will be the mother of this house. So do not be cheated like the African culture, where you are told have decorum, be nice. I'm telling you, you will go nowhere. Be a bad girl like me.
And I thought to myself, that is the original baddie.
Saturday and Sunday mornings belong to the Morning Switch. 3 to 6 a.m. Central African Time. Join Tebogo and Nompumelelo on the Upside, where optimism meets opportunity.
All right, it's 21 minutes after 1 Central African time, and we are still in conversation with the Deputy Director of IP and Commercialization at Mangosuthu University of Technology. Dr. Mandla, tell us about the relationship between IP, placing a whole lot more importance on IP in a time where music, South African music in particular, has been so much more successful. Platforms such as Apple Music, Spotify, and then its global reach.
Thank you, Nompumelelo, for the question. Maybe we go into looking into the relationship with music. One will have to acknowledge the role in which music plays in our economy, which is something that we usually don't look into it. One, music is basically attached to our cultural diversity as a country, and most people are able to express themselves in terms of music. Just like any other property, it takes an artist to basically come up with a performance. When it becomes their own property. Like you ask yourself, when you buy a house, you have a title deed, meaning that is a property that is within your title deed. When you come with a new invention, you are going to patent, your invention, technology in terms of a patent, so that you basically maintain the monopoly of your patent. So you ask yourself now, in the music, why are we not talking about protection of these creations? Because this is somebody's work that they use to bring bread into the table.
And Dr. Mandla, let's talk about then the campaign that MUT will be running ahead of this year's World Intellectual Property Day. How will it be addressing these challenges?
So the campaigns of the World Intellectual Property Day, together with the activities that we have aimed, we are hosting the World IP Day, which is basically celebrated annually in April. So we are going to bring in a number of case studies. We are inviting mostly students in different universities within KZN region, students that are within the creative sector, also the general public that are within the creation sector, the creative sector. We are inviting them basically to upskill themselves, to teach themselves on how do you have to protect your IP or your copyright when it comes to creativity in the music sector. We are looking into the key industry players such as Sampra and Impra, who will be educating these young musicians on how can they get their songs registered with Sampra in a way that they can, at the end of the day, be paid for their creation. So we have a number of activities that we are aiming to educate the general public in terms of copyright and music.
Dr. Mandla, let's talk about, you spoke about the importance of acknowledging the participation or impact that music has on any one given economy. Whose responsibility is it within the stakeholders that are involved in music, but also certainly governance? Whose responsibility is it to bring the importance of music's impact on the economy to light, number one, and then further bring about regulation around that?
So in South Africa, we have the intellectual property rights, which are basically all the rights that are for individuals. So that will be basically under the companies and intellectual property rights. But again, as musicians also, I think it's in to us to understand as to what are the rights that you have as a musician. So taking into all the opportunities that the government present to people. Because with the upcoming World Intellectual Property, it's all about the collaboration that we had with the companies and intellectual property commission, together with the National Intellectual Property Management Office, who are aiming at equipping the general public and unpack the copyright aspect or the intellectual property right aspects, because currently most of the people or public, they are not well educated in terms of intellectual property. And it's a very good initiative to say, let us build awareness, let us bring the people in the public domain and have this number of workshops, these roadshows to ensure that they are educated about IP.
And Dr. Mandla, in South Africa, what are the bodies? Which bodies do we need to be aware of when it comes to intellectual property, especially in the music industry? Though we are seeing quite a lot of young creators, musicians, who are not necessarily signing under big brands. They're now becoming more independent. Which bodies do they need to be aware of to start the process of protecting their IP?
So you want to look into SAMRO. This is the South African Music Rights Organizations, which are basically musicians must register their music, and it basically assists in terms of monitoring when their music is aired, and to ensure that they are basically compensated for their music. So you might want to look into SAMRO. And SAMRO also is one of the organizations that we have invited for the roadshow and also for the World IP Day celebration to basically indicate or share what is the responsibility of SAMRO. We will be having over 200 participants, so we believe that we'll be reaching a wider community of artists or young artists within the KZN region. So they can look also into IMPRA, which also serves as one of the organizations which one can look into when you speak of licensing of music and so forth. So SAMRA and IMPRA, those are a few of the organizations that musicians should be looking into.
And how can musicians get involved with your campaign? And in terms of support for them going forward, are there any measures to support them from the partners that you will have for the specific campaign?
Yes. So if we can look into our university website, most of the upcoming activities are posted there. Our contact details are there. If they are interested in joining us in sponsoring us for the upcoming event, they can basically look into looking into those links. There will be our contact details as Mangosuthu University of Technology. We have also put in the contact details for our stakeholders, that is NIPMO and CIPC. And in addition to that, we are saying that it's open to the public. They don't have to RSVP. We will be open at the Botanic Garden here in Durban, so they can come in and join us on the 24th of April.
Dr. Mandla, there are some artists who may think that, the conversation about copywriting and trademarking, it only belongs to big brands, big names. You must have made a name for yourself before you can start talking about these things. But how true is that?
So, thank you for the question, Tebogo. So, if we say copyright IP, basically we protect the of mine. So if I come up with something today, I'm the originator of that particular idea, meaning I own that particular work. So that meaning it will be my copyright.
Dr. Mandla, we are losing you slightly. I don't know if you've moved, but there was a bit of a drop in the line.
Okay.
So let's try that again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, sir.
Saying that you don't have to be a big group in order to register your own creation. So in South Africa, what is nice about this is that you don't have to go through a different organization for copyright. So as soon as we are able to to produce a song, that is a right that will be automatically be granted as long as you can prove that this was the original creation. So in most of the time we say when you are producing something or when you are writing something, you need to put a date. So to show that this is when you have basically created this work, because we remember it's under a patent when you have to go and register it with your patent office. So we to write automatically as soon as I write a poem. It's important that I keep proof or a record to indicate that I originated this work on the 17th of April, so that when somebody comes tomorrow, I will have a evidence to say this was my original work and it belongs to me. So it does not really have to be a big corporate in order to gain copyright protection or so forth. Individual artist, individual person, as long as they can provide evidence that it's their creation, that will be their work. They don't have to be corporate or big organizations.
And in terms of just forecasting ahead, what changes would you like to see in the intellectual property rights sector?
I think if we basically build more awareness, because you will be surprised that most people don't know what the rights basically there are entailed in their creation. So if we do more kind of awareness, because the Intellectual Property Act right is there, but now how do we then educate the people in the public? So if we can have more awareness, I know that for us, each and every year we look into different domains of intellectual property rights within the IP landscape. But I think if we build more awareness and educate the public so they become aware of copyright matters, I think that is one of the things that I would like to happen. Currently, we do have artificial intelligence. Most people are afraid as to now AI is coming to take or to replace people. There is no way that will replace an artist or replace a performer. But now, how can we say artists and people in the creation, they utilize these tools to enhance and remain basically, or remain, sorry, I'm running out of words, but just to remain relevant to the current environment.
Sure.
So we cannot get away from AI, but how do we ensure that we integrate the two systems, because we want to keep up with technology and so forth. So those are key things that we might need to embrace our artists with, so relevant into the digital platforms.
And Dr. Mandla, sticking to the AI conversation, how big of a problem is AI cloning? When they start cloning your voice and other people start creating music using your voice without your knowledge of it. How big of a problem is it in South Africa, and how do we go about protecting our voice from being accessed by AI tools such as these?
Thank you for the question. It is very important. With continued amendment of the Internet Property Rights to ensure that it covers also the AI and also individual artists, because so far there is no framework that basically protect artists or protect people from using their voice through the AI. But I think these are things that will have to be put in a framework going forward to ensure that artists are protected. So I would say as we continue with the amendment of these bills or this Intellectual Property Rights Act, these are things that should be considered and taken into place.
All right, Dr. Mandla, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. But before we let you go, if you could just repeat where it is that people can find more information about the campaign.
So if they can visit the Mangosuthu University of Technology LinkedIn page, there's the Facebook page, and also Instagram. We have information there. But again, they are more than welcome to join us on the 24th of April at the Durban Botanic Garden between 8:30 to 3 o'clock on the 24th.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of your public holiday.
Thank you so much.
That is Dr. Mandla Hlongwane, and he is the Deputy Director of IP and Commercialization at Mangosuthu University of Technology. Are you ready now to tackle the world of protecting your voice and just in intellectual property in general, your ideas, your written work?
Better gauge. It's a good start. Like he said, very important that we raise awareness. And I wonder to what extent do institutions like MUT have classes for musicians to better understand step by step how does this work, so that when they do go out into the real world, they have the basics covered. And so
are musicians interested also? That's why, because musicians are creatives, and oftentimes they'll say they couldn't be bothered with the business side
it's not for me.
Exactly. It's not for me. I just want to get into studio and create music.
Last year, I went to a musical festival, right? And they had performances, exhibitions, and then educational workshops. At those educational workshops, where they were talking about the importance of IP protection and royalties and so on and so forth, and making sure you're doing things according to the law and the book, very few artists were present at those engagements. It was the people who...
The record labels.
It was the record labels and just people who just had a vested interest in it. But the artists themselves, nowhere to be seen. So that's an even better question. Are they even interested in such things?
And then they cry foul when they realize that they actually have been robbed or hard done by.
When it affects the pockets.
I have very little sympathy in an age where information is out there. No, I really do. Because I think it's incumbent on everyone in whatever industry that you're in to educate yourself on how best to protect yourself, how best to fight for your rights, because in every industry, people will try to rip you off, pay you way less than you deserve.
Absolutely. How important then is it to look at and reflect your structure? The people around you.
Exactly. Arm yourself then with a team. Make sure that you have a good lawyer on your side.
Very important.
I don't
lawyer,
play around with
tax account. You need those people. You need those people. But these are conversations that some people say, not for me. I just want to be creative. I just want to be colorful.
Okay.
Don't bother me with admin.
Right.
I have a team
Good
for
luck.
that. But do you trust that team?
Good luck.
Good luck. Listen, a special edition of The Upside this afternoon will be broadcasting all the way until 5 p.m. Central African Time. Let us know how you are spending this, is it Easter weekend in South Africa? Actually, not just in South Africa, worldwide, isn't it? How are you spending this Easter weekend? Are you traveling? Will you be with family? Let us know where you're listening to us from this afternoon. +2763 406 9126. Don't go anywhere. This is The Upside.
You didn't mention why it's a special broadcast.
I did.
You'll
We're
be
broadcasting
here
until 5, I said.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I missed it.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow. Okay. In case you missed it, we'll be broadcasting until 5 p.m. Central African Time. Don't go anywhere. This is The Upside with Nompumelelo Ngubeni and Tebogo Lekhuleni.
No fairy tales, just the facts and the music you love on Channel Africa. The Upside. On The Upside, your voice matters.
Things are falling apart. I tell you, times are hard. But a woman takes it all in her stride. Yes, a woman never lets down her pride.
Zilipendwa na I am Henry Shekif.
Baiter, mambo vipi?
Poa.
Mwaka 2025 mpaka hivi sasa ukoje kwa upande wako mzee baba?
Kabisa, kwa sababu tumejiandaa vizuri. Kama mwaka jana tumefunga vizuri na Septemba, mwaka huu tumefungua vizuri na
hatari sana. Mzee umejipanga, utaki kutupumzisha?
Maana mwanzo alikuwa analalamika sana, you spend long time without releasing songs blah blah. Now I need to
back to back. Platform, mambo vipi?
Mambo poa kabisa, wanasemaje uko ese?
Yani huko kuna shangwe, yani la kufa mtu, sikwambie mtu babu.
Hii ni mara yangu ya kwanza pia kusikika kwa pande hizo za South Africa.
Karibu sana, unajisikiaje?
Na furaha kubwa sana kwa sababu ni mara yangu ya kwanza, na I hope watu watakuwa wananisikiliza, watu wengi pia. Ili uweze kuvuka nje, watu waweze kukufahamu, tuseme West hivi na nchi tofauti, ni lazima pia uanze kufanya vizuri hapa nyumbani, then uvuke East Africa. After East Africa,
Zilipendwa hapa kwenye Channel Africa, taswira ya Afrika.
Big news from Channel Africa. Now you can listen and watch your favorite shows on Channel Africa. Channel Africa is streaming live on the internet on all our social media pages at Channel Africa 1 from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. Central African Time. Download the SABC Plus app or visit our website www.channelafrica.co.za and stream us live on all our social media pages at Channel Africa 1. Channel Africa now streaming for your eyes and ears only. Channel Africa, the African perspective. The Upside, taking the African perspective to fresh levels.
Really. This is why I love
radio.
This is why I love radio.
You why do you love radio?
Because you listen to beautiful music. In the background, we're having our wonderful conversations, right? And it creates this ambience. Okay. It really does.
I'm intrigued by what you have to say.
There are certain conversations that you need the right music to be in the background and playing. Otherwise, it will ruin the tone.
And so you're saying Monique Seka's Okaman.
Beautiful. And then we
set
had
the right tone.
Yeah, and then we had Musadi by Malay.
Yeah.
Beautiful music. Do you understand the rhythm?
And do you want to bring our listeners in and tell them what we were talking about?
We were talking about matters of the heart. Okay, we're talking about matters of the heart. We're discussing how initially we started talking about
money,
and that if you expose
birthdays.
What was about birthday?
Was it not? We were having a conversation with.
We were chatting with Black.
Yeah.
He's the voice of Channel Africa, and he was saying that his kids at some point tricked him into buying
his own
gifts under the guise of, hey daddy, we need presents for a friend, he's a boy, please, what do boys like, let's go buy. Bought everything. The very next day he saw all those gifts that he chose presented to him, and I thought that was smart. Cute. That's cute. So we then started talking about if you then give your kids pocket money,
you're spoiling
them. Are you
for
really
the men that they'll date one day?
Especially the daughters, if you give them money.
That's right.
And then Black was like, it will present a challenge for the future boyfriends.
And you agreed with that sentiment? To an extent?
No. Not even that I agreed. I think it's how you are presenting this money. Money is an institution of its own. You need to understand it. You have to understand the significance of it. You don't just give someone money for the purpose of giving them. If you're blessing your children and you're saying, listen, this is pocket money, teach them the values of money, budgeting, and that money doesn't just grow off trees. And then you end up having them grow up respecting it and not necessarily putting pressure on the upcoming boyfriends in life. So I don't necessarily agree with that. No, I just think how you present it to them and how you educate them about money, that's even more important than just giving it to them and saying, okay, have your way. Because then society will have a great say on how they go about spending it and their view on it. And that becomes a problem.
I'd absolutely love to hear your perspective on this conversation. Do you give your children pocket money, and to what end? What is that pocket money for? Is it for a specific purpose? Do you think it is teaching them anything about the value of it? Or just ruining their relationship with money? Because the inverse is that you always say to your children, I don't have money. Money doesn't grow in trees. And then you are also just sending a message or building pathways in their neurology that says, sure, money is scarce. It's a commodity that we can't have. I'm not one of those that has access to money. So I think both sides and extreme sides of the pendulum swing aren't useful.
Yeah, and you also don't want it to be seen as a transactional thing, do you? Where you must do something in order for you to get pocket money.
Is it not transactional?
For the most part, it is, isn't it? And so
we are here on a public holiday.
You had to throw us under the bus there.
It's +27 63406 9126. Let us know. What do you do in your home with your children? Do they have to earn this money? Do they have to wash dishes and wash cars and the like in order to have access to money?
Did you grow up having pocket money, and did you have to do chores for that money?
Yeah, no, I didn't end up, I didn't grow up, being given a pocket money. I don't remember that. I luckily then taught myself that I deserve it. I don't have to slog for, because what that did, and that's why I say the inverse is really dangerous, because you grow up not being given that money because you're constantly told, money doesn't grow on trees, I don't have money, and then you start understanding that money is not for you. You know, you come from a family that is lacking. It's just like lack mentality. And I knew that that was not true necessarily, because then my family's dynamic did change. And this was because I watched my mother work hard, but also I knew that I didn't want to like break my back in order to have access to money. So there needed to be a balance, and that's something I needed to teach myself, that you don't have to die on the cross to have access to money, and no pun intended, because it's Good Friday. But that there can be a balance. You can live well, you can work enough, and still vibe and have access.
There are certain people who feel very entitled to it.
Yeah.
And you pick it up even with relationships, whether romantic relationships or friendships.
Yeah.
Where it's sort of like an expectation.
That you will give me money in a friendship, in a relationship. Really?
Especially in a relationship, that you will give me money. That I am your partner. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where they saw it from, but it becomes their reality, where I am in a relationship with you, therefore I expect a certain amount of money or a pocket and an allowance of sort every single month. So that's why I'm like...
For men and women. Men want pocket money, women want pocket money.
Mostly women, from my experiences. I wouldn't say I've seen guys...
Because they don't work, or what's the situation?
And here's the crazy thing. They will work, or they are working, and they have something running for themselves. They are doing well, or not necessarily doing well. But because you're in a relationship with me, can I have pocket money? Can you give me something? And this will now maintain my hair, my nails, or what, so that it doesn't come out of my own pocket. And I realize that it can be a bit of an entitlement thing.
And not a bit. I mean, I think that is really entitled.
And so that's why we're having this conversation, asking, what's the relationship that you have with money, especially with your kids? How do they associate with money? Do they have to do chores? Do you give them pocket money? I remember I received pocket money because I was in boarding school. And so to, take care of myself.
I mean, the school was taking care of you. Well, they gave you food every day.
They gave me
3 times a day.
They gave me all that stuff. But after school, like on a Friday, having to travel home, I then have to, public transport, and you needed to have your own money for that, right? And so it's not like they came to fetch you, your parents, not all the time. So you needed money for that, and sometimes you'd stay the long weekend because you were doing sports and so on and so forth. So you needed something to snack on if the school or the hostel was not able to provide at that time. And so you learned how to manage the money. I was a big saver back then. Everything I would get, I would save, save.
Who taught you that? Did you just think, I want more, so I'm gonna put away?
I just think I respected money because of the way that I think my parents, spoke about money. It was, my dad would always say, money does not grow on trees. Like that was his biggest thing. And so you sort of grew up respecting it and understanding that there are people who work hard for this. Don't just squander it. So for the most part, my philosophy was save as much as you can.
And now you say back then. What's happening now?
Right now...
If you were to describe your bank account through a verse, a music verse.
A music verse. There's a song that says... it's something about too much money.
Yeah.
I don't know the lyrics. It just says, I've got money upon money upon money. But it's monopoly money. It's not real money. It's 2 p.m. Central African Time. Nompumelelo Ngubeni has your latest in news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thanks and good afternoon. Taking a look at the headlines, traffic volumes high on South Africa's N4 and America criticized on Russia and Ukraine. Traffic volumes remain high on South Africa's N4 toll road between Mbombela and Komati Port in Libombo border gate with Mozambique in Mpumalanga province. The Border Management Authority cleared 50,000 people who were crossing who were crossing from both countries in the past 3 days. BMA Commissioner Dr. Mike Masiapato says over 80 illegal immigrants were also arrested trying to enter and exit the country through illegal borderline crossings. Masiapato says that they have also arrested 7 facilitators who are organizing the illegal crossings. The facilitators have been handed over to the Komati police station to face criminal charges. South Africa's International Relations and Cooperation Minister Ronald Lamola says he is saddened by the passing of South African Ambassador to Cote d'Ivoire Zolani Mjotshisa. Mjotshisa passed away in a hospital in South Africa. Lamola says that the late ambassador was devoted to the maintenance of good political, diplomatic, economic and people-to-people ties between the two nations. Khayelihle Khumalo has more.
Minister Lamola says Ambassador Mjotshisa worked tirelessly to promote South Africa's engagements with Cote d'Ivoire. This includes facilitating the November 2023 relaunch of the SAA's Johannesburg to Abidjan route. The ambassador presented his credentials to the Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara in 2020. He has also been praised for working hard to boost trade between the two countries. Mjotshisa was a political activist who fought against the apartheid regime. Khayelihle Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.
The Ugandan government intends to introduce a law to allow military tribunals to try civilians for certain offences even after the practice was banned by the Supreme Court. Human rights activists and opposition politicians have long accused President Yoweri Museveni's government of using military courts to prosecute opposition leaders and supporters on politically motivated charges. The government denies the accusations. The law has been drafted and is awaiting cabinet approval before it is introduced to Parliament. If successfully enacted, the new law could allow the government to take Besik back to the military court martial. Former Credit Suisse boss Dejane Thiam is to run for president in Cote d'Ivoire's forthcoming election. Thiam was the only candidate vying to represent the country's main opposition party, the PDCI. He has spent the last 2 decades living abroad and had to give up his French citizenship to be able to stand in the presidential election. Political scientist Geoffrey Kiawo said that Thiam was not well known in the country after spending more than 20 years out pursuing his business career, and so would have to run a strong campaign in order to win October's election. The U.S. Secretary of State has warned that America will stop trying to broker a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine if there are no signs of progress in the next few days. Marco Rubio said that President Donald Trump still wanted an agreement, but added that the U.S. would not spend weeks negotiating it. He was speaking at Paris's Le Bourget Airport the day after holding his series of meetings with European politicians in part.
We're not going to continue with this endeavor for weeks and months on end. So we need to determine very quickly now, and I'm talking about a matter of days, whether or not this is doable over the next few weeks. If it is, we're in. If it's not, then we have other priorities to focus on as well.
A recap of the top story. Traffic volumes remain high in South Africa's N4 toll road between Mbombela and the Komati port in Libombo border gate with Mozambique and Mpumalanga. The Border Management Authority cleared 50,000 people who were crossing from both countries in the past 3 days. For any news stories you would like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Nolutando Butelezi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Boom, 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 boom. 7 minutes past 2 p.m. Central African Time. This is the outside Nompumelelo Ngubeni and Tebogo Lekhuleni. We are coming to you live from the Auckland Park Studios in Johannesburg, South Africa. And you can catch us live on the SABC Plus app. Simply download it on your Android or your iOS device. Stream us on www.channelafrica.co.za. Catch us on DSTV channel 802 or OpenView channel 628. You can now see our faces, how we look like, via our social media streams at Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and at Channel Africa on Facebook. We would love to hear from you. Where are you listening to us from this afternoon? How are you spending your Easter weekend? +27 63 406 9126. We're about to get into some music.
Yeah, we're going to be speaking to Cherise, who's a DJ, songwriter. She's such a busy lady, and I love that she approaches her music in a way that is a way of preserving culture, of reflecting the times, and ever growing in terms of her expertise in this industry. So we're going to be catching up with her. She is London-based, South African born, Zimbabwe born, and Zimbabwe and South Africa. I think there's a relationship there, and so we'll be finding out about how she marries all of these different countries that she's been exposed to. I know that it always does something for a musician's approach to music, their exposure to different countries and therefore different genres as well.
I think it would do the same for just about any human being. Just traveling, being exposed to different cultures and ways of living and expressing, and it will affect you somehow. I've always said that I don't want to go to the United States because I have a tendency of wanting to sound exactly like the people I am around. And
an American accent really is not anything to aspire to. I mean, don't you get...
Really? You don't like the American accent?
No.
You prefer the British?
I don't... in fact, if I were to choose between the two, absolutely.
Oh, the German?
No. Don't you think Americans sound a little...
personally, I'm not a fan of the American accent. If I were to choose, I'll definitely choose the British accent, and then the Japanese. I prefer that one. Anyway, Cherise C has got a new song coming up. It's called Sirens, an interlude, right? It's giving moody, it's giving soulful, it's giving add me to my playlist immediately.
Something that my phone does that annoys me, I want to talk about in the next hour. Okay? Yeah.
Who is that?
This is my brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk about what my phone does. Potentially it does the same with you, and it's potentially annoying for you as well. But it's 10 minutes after 2 Central African Time. Let's take a quick break before we get into that conversation with Cherise.
Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, reports that over 3 million children are involved in prostitution globally, while the International Labour Organization estimates that 1 million people are trafficked annually for sexual exploitation. Many victims are lured with false promises of a better future.
We have serious problems, Lulu. One, we had porous borders, easy access of these criminal transnational syndicates coming in and living at ease. Number one. Number two, we also have a problem where some of our law enforcement officers, those who are rogue, who work hand in glove with the syndicates because they give them something in return of them turning a blind eye. Point number three, we have a problem of corruption that leads to us being a playground of this transnational organized crime.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time.
Je, una jambo lolote akilini mwako? Je, una shauku kuhusu masuala muhimu? Na je, una maoni ambayo unataka yasikike? Kweli, hili jukwaa ni la kwako. Piga simu au tuandikie kwenda WhatsApp namba alama ya kujumulisha 2760552594 na tutakupigia simu.
Mtangazaji wa habari zetu za Afrika Kusini mjini Johannesburg.
Hivyo unaweza kuwa mshirika kwenye matangazo yetu. Sio mazungumzo tu, ni fursa yako ya kuchangia maoni yako na kushirikiana na jumuiya ya wasikilizaji wanaotamani mtazamo wako. Tufuate kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. Tembelea tovuti yetu www.channelafrica.co.za na uwe tayari kushiriki na kuchangia maoni yako kwenye Channel Africa. Channel Africa, mtazamo wa Kiafrika.
Connecting Africa to the world. The Upside. Your daily dose of inspiration, innovation, and untold stories from across Africa. With Nompumelelo and Tebogo.
Minutes past 2 p.m. Central African Time. Sirens Interlude by Sharice C. Did you hear that, Nompumelelo?
Does it not give you rooftop vibes? Just relaxed and chilled, grown and sexy.
Grown and sexy. Yeah. I love that. I said it earlier. It's giving moody, it's giving soulful, it's giving add to playlist immediately.
Yeah, right, absolutely.
Let's get into conversation with her. She's been called a bridge between continents, and if you've heard her sound, you'll know why. DJ, artist, and a creative force, Sharice C is back with her first single of the year, Sirens Interlude, the one we were listening to there. soulful journey blending Afro house, melodic house, and R&B. From global stages to her label Abantu, she's not just making music, she's building culture. And today, she joins us to talk about the music, the message, and the movement. Sharice, welcome to The Upside. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for the great intro.
Love it.
It's all you, ma'am. We didn't make any of that up.
Before we get into the song and the meaning, listening to it yourself right now, what goes through your head?
Oh, wow. I think it's a testament to the fact that I'm a lover girl. That's what
I mean, it was inspired by The Little Mermaid, Cherise. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when I was writing the song, I worked with two artists called Kinda. They're Ghanaian, Australian. They were in London for a month or so. And we got in and we were just talking in general. And I was thinking, I think and talk about love a lot. And we were also thinking about it using metaphor as a water. And I hadn't long watched The Little Mermaid. And I think when I watched it, I was just thinking about the choices and the sacrifices and the risks that we make for love. And also reframing that, right? Because in The Little Mermaid, it's her that gives up her voice and gives up her life in the sea with the man that she loves. And I'm like, what if it was the other way around? What if she was the one asking him to make the choice? And it's like time for him to prove, what will you do for this love? And so that was how The Little Mermaid came into it. And then just the music as well has this airy, ethereal water kind of feeling. So it all just came together really nicely.
No, it did. We can tell you that for sure. But I mean, you're a woman of many talents. You know, not only are you a DJ, you are a singer-songwriter, as well as a label owner. Before stepping behind the decks during daytime apartment parties, I believe, you were also shaping conversations around music at the age of 15. Tell us about where it all started for you.
Yes, my journey in music started when I was 15. I was writing about music. I had my own blog. Those were the days when people had Blogspot.
The
OGs. And I was whiling my time just writing about music that I love and intersecting it with fashion and with culture and just reflecting on things. And it got picked up and I started writing for other magazines and platforms, which then led me. So I grew up in a town just outside of the city, London, called Reading. And I always wanted to go and live in London. And so I figured school would be the thing that would take me there.
Yeah.
And so I went to school to study journalism, and that's where everything started. The DJing started there, the music, it all really began for me once I moved to London.
We are currently in conversation with Sharice C. about her latest body of work, Sirens Interlude. We carry on the conversation after this.
Africa in Business on Channel Africa.
An investigation by South Africa's non-profit organization Open Secrets has found that telecoms company MTN has played a role in shutting down the internet during elections and wars in Sudan, Cameroon, Iran, Afghanistan and Uganda, thus enabling governments to silence the opposition.
Interestingly, this isn't just unique to MTN. I think the report also looks at Vodacom DRC as being a proponent of one of these violations, particularly in shutting down the internet during the elections in 2018 and 2019. Autocratic regimes are able to utilize the licenses that they have with these telecom companies, basically to, suppress political dissent. And the result is that many people are left without connectivity. And not only does this affect people's ability to communicate with their loved ones and access vital emergency services, but also at a very basic level of access to information.
The Open Secrets investigator, Lu Forno Ntuli.
Africa in Business on Channel Africa. Weekdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Central African Time. Connecting Africa to the world. The Upside with Nompumelelo Ngubeni and Tebogo Lekhuleni. Bringing you Africa's brightest ideas and untold stories.
21 minutes past 2 p.m. Central African Time. Welcome back to The Upside with Nompumelelo Ngubeni and me, Tebogo Lekhuleni. We are currently in conversation with Cherise C. about her latest body of work. Cherise, earlier I mentioned that you are considered a bridge between continents. Can we find out where were you born, your upbringing? Because you mentioned London, but somewhere we saw South Africa and Zimbabwe. Tell us about it.
Yes. So I was born in Zimbabwe. We grew up in Blair for 3 years. I was 2 years old. And then moved to the UK. I spent most of my life, my schooling, everything in the UK. Family-wise, my father is Shona, my mother is Zulu and Ndebele. And so home for me has been an experience of coming back whenever we could. And as I've gotten older, I've been able to make that coming back a lot more often. At the time when we moved, the story for many is like you move for greener pastures. And so we couldn't afford when I was very young to come back home often. So as I've been older now, it's been a blessing to be able to do that for myself and really connect to my roots for myself and from my own experiences as opposed to those that have been shared with me by my parents or, cousins or uncles or grandparents and things like that.
That's really important, Cherise, and I'm glad that you've been able to do that for yourself, not only from a personal kind of understanding of who you are perspective, but also it has contributed greatly to the kind of music that you've now been able to produce, right? Because I know that three-step, gom, house music are not foreign to you. So talk to us about then how you've been able to dabble into those genres.
Yes. I think the starting point, I've been DJing for 8 years.
Yeah.
I've always loved music. Music has been part of my life, but the DJing started 8 years ago. And at the time I was playing all of the music that I love when I first started. Yeah. And then I wanted to have something that I felt told my story. I'm a storyteller always, first and foremost. And I wanted to have more of a sense of direction. And that point where I'm like the bridging of the worlds is where that started. It was the bridging of my worlds internally, which then became the bridging of the African continent and this side of Europe where I've grown up, and the bridging of the UK, Southern Africa. And so those became the narratives that I was telling, because I'm so rooted in who I am, but also I've grown up here and it's influenced me so much. And so I've always found myself, I love so many different types of music. I've been immersed in so many different cultures and it comes out when I play, but it also allows me to be able to translate things also between worlds. Like when I was first started DJing, people didn't know what Amapiano was. People didn't know what Gom was. People didn't know any of this. And so you have this responsibility not only to introduce yourself, but also to introduce this whole style of music that people are unfamiliar with. And having to almost learn how to do that by understanding, I have to understand you to share something with you. And so I'm learning these audiences as well as bringing something fresh to their ears, but wanting to keep the integrity of this culture at the same time. So that's how I would describe the bridging of worlds.
You describe yourself perfectly there, saying that you are a storyteller. During the creative process then, Cherise, what starts for you? Where do you start? Is it the lyrics? Is it the beat? Is it the feeling that you want to convey? Where does it start?
It can be any of those. It depends on, sometimes I have the story that I want to tell before I have the music. Sometimes how the music makes me feel inspires the story. So like with Siren's interlude, that's what happened. The music sounded like what it then became about. And then other times it'll be I'm maybe having a conversation with someone in the studio and we say, let's write something about that. Or someone will say something, or like, oh, that could be a really nice lyric. Let's build on that. So yeah, it can start from many different points.
I mean, you have taken your music internationally and you've sold out as well your own Abantu night at Village Underground twice already. And you've also earned recognition from platforms such as Mix Mag and BBC Radio 1. Tell us about the what it means for you to be able to sell out international stages, number one, and then the accolades as well that come after having worked so hard. I mean, for 8 years, you've been doing this.
Yeah, it's honestly, so it's beautiful. It's such a blessing. I also very much understand that it's also bigger than me. I often refer to myself as a vessel for a reason, and even the reason why I called Abantu is like it started off as a radio show where I was telling these stories, which then moved into putting on these parties and being able to also book artists from South Africa and bring them here, which then became a record label. And at each stage of the way, I've always understood that I have my personal ambitions as an artist, but I also have ambitions for what we are doing as a culture as a whole. And especially being in this side of the world where you're always aware of the fact that at home we're the majority, but here we're a minority.
Yeah.
And so this constant, it is a responsibility that I take and it is a duty. And I really stand with that thing of we go far together. And so I'm always bringing people and sharing that. And so it's beautiful to be recognized for it. But the thing that makes it more special for me is that I've been able to do it without ever compromising that kind of people first ethos and having done it with community. Like the parties are special because of everybody that comes to them and the DJs that we all understand why we're doing this thing and why it's so important. And everyone that I work with, even in music, like we're just in this like-minded way of moving. And I think that's the most special thing about it. And also just showing the music industry that there's another way to do things, you know? So, yeah.
When someone presses play on your playlist for the very first time, what are you hoping that they get out of your music? How are you hoping that they receive it through their body, you know, in their spirit? How are you hoping that they receive your music when they press play for the very first time?
I hope that they receive it with an open mind, always. I'm definitely somebody that likes to explore and try and experiment, and I'm not rigid in that way. And so I hope that it'll always be received with an open ears, open heart, that it'll make you feel something, you know, whatever that thing is, it'll make you feel something that you'll take with you. And I think once you release music, a lot of the time you know that at this point it's now beyond me. People will interpret it how they interpret it. But that it's something that I always strive to make music that will last beyond just one moment, you know, that maybe you listen to it now and you feel one way about it. Maybe in a year's time, you might take something else from it. Maybe if it's a song that I've written about a personal experience and it might make you feel seen or like you can relate to a part of it. I think that's what music is supposed to do. So I hope that my music also does the same thing for others.
What was that one song that had you falling in love with music?
Yeah. Wow. One song. That's such a difficult question.
Or a genre or a time, you know?
I think a time, maybe I'll say for me as a DJ, there's one December that I always speak about that really changed things for me. And that was December 2018. It was the first time I'd come to South Africa by myself as an adult. And I'd just turned 21. And it was the first time I was really outside partying in that way. And I remember me and my sister we were going everywhere. And I had so many incredible experiences. That was a December that Monate Mpola had come out. That was a December that Banomoe Busiso had just released it as well. And we was out everywhere. And it was also when the Ticket Per Dome was still open. And we went to see Music King show, Black Coffee's one.
Oh, man.
And
I had chills as you're describing that.
At 21, I was just, I was like, oh my God. I remember everything just really opened up for me internally that December. And just affirmed so much about what I knew I was going to do for the rest of my journey. It was like a homecoming trip for me, that one.
As you're describing this, I've got, don't you have chills? Because I can feel it. It's just like
it was
almost
a
spiritual
moment.
thing, hey? Yeah.
It was
it's
an
beautiful.
absolute moment. Charisse, what's on the horizon for you? Do we have any tours lined up? Any performances that we can look forward to?
Yes, I'm actually going to be in South Africa next month. So I'm super excited.
Okay.
I'm based in Johannesburg. I've got a few shows that I'm playing, some new music that's coming out as well. So I'm going to announce everything on my social media by the end of this month, essentially. I'll share the full dates, but I'm really excited to be back and to be sharing new music and performing and to be home again.
Do have the Upside come through. Would love to come through and see you perform,
Okay.
do your thing.
Yes, no, I would love that.
All right. And your social media platforms, if people want to follow then where you'll be in South Africa and just follow your career.
Yeah, so my social media is Charisse everywhere. That's CHARISSEC on wherever you are, you'll find me.
Final question from me. It's a random one, right?
Okay.
Let's say Siren's interlude was a scent, a color, and a time of day. What would they be?
I love that question. I'd say the scent would be something really musky and woody, but at the same time, like fresh. So I'd say maybe like a vanilla, sandalwood, and like a jasmine.
Okay.
The color, definitely blue for the ocean. And what was the last one?
Time of day.
Time of day, I think nighttime. It's definitely for the nighttime.
I love that. Charisse, you've been an absolute star. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We wish you all the best. We can't wait to see you in South Africa.
Next month.
Yeah. Right? And we wish Siren's Interlude all the success in the world and also your label as well. Just in closing, are there specific people or artists that you're looking for your Abantu brand, or you just take anyone if they're in South Africa, who are you looking for?
They can be anywhere in the world. I think with Abantu, what I'm really looking for, I always describe as people that are rooted, but also looking towards the future. So I really want to work with people who are, especially those who are innovating and creating new experimental, strange ideas. And maybe it's always at the beginning that people are like, I'm not sure about this thing. And later on, it's like, wow, that was amazing. And those who are bold enough to dare to say, no one else is doing this thing, but I want to try it and I like it. And I really want to nurture and support artists like that, artists who I see as the future.
We love it. Charisse, thank you so much for your time and all the best.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers. It is 34 minutes after 2 Central African time. How inspired are you?
Very.
Yeah.
Very. And listen, own label. How many people do you know have their own labels?
A few.
Okay. But that's you because you know everyone. But generally, we don't know, especially internationally.
Who are working with international artists. She's only 28 years old as well. So, at that age, being kind of having your tentacles in all spheres all spheres of the music industry is really incredible.
Very, very impressive.
And very inspiring.
I really love it. And I love how she said earlier, she wants to show the music industry that it can be done differently. We don't always have to do the same thing. Anyway, Charisse C on all social media platforms. Check out Siren's Interlude on all streaming devices. It's 35 minutes past 2 p.m. Central African time. This is The Upside with Nompumelelo Ngubeni and me, Tebogo Lekhuleni. Stay tuned. More conversations, more music coming up next.
Call us on +27 63 406 9126 and contribute to the conversation.
Grande nouvelle à Channel Africa. Vous pouvez désormais écouter et regarder vos émissions préférées sur Channel Africa. Channel Africa diffuse maintenant en direct sur Internet et sur tous nos réseaux sociaux de 6h à 21h, heure d'Afrique centrale. Sur Channel Africa 1. Téléchargez l'application SABC+ ou visitez notre site internet www.channelafrica.co.za et rejoignez-nous en direct sur toutes nos pages réseaux sociaux Channel Africa 1. Channel Africa est désormais en diffusion audiovisuelle uniquement pour le plaisir de vos yeux et vos oreilles. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Your afternoons just got even better. Fresh and exciting. The Upside, hooking you up with today's news from an African perspective.
I mean, you have heard from the woman herself, the multifaceted Charisse C. Now it's time to kind of get into the world of what she does on the decks. This is how she started out after that blog post that she started at 15. She went behind the decks. Check it out.
But before we go, we're going to give a shout out to someone phenomenal, Charisse C. Gotta say it one more time. Charisse C. is the future. Charisse C. This is real music. This is what music is supposed to sound like. This is the future of music. Get on board now before this takes off. Charisse C. Charisse C.
Your voice matters.
What a mix. Cherie C. What a mix. I'm told that someone in studio, you'll normally find her in the most, what do they call it? Mother City vibes and Dubai vibes with this kind of song. Take her anytime, any day. Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Is this on your playlist now?
By far, a stretch, the best mix we have had on the upside.
You're gonna put money on that? The best?
By far.
Really?
By far. Listen,
oh my goodness.
By far.
Everyone was dancing.
Our producer has not sat down the entire mix. She was on her feet, and generally we'll start off kind of dancing, right, to a mix.
Yeah.
And then, third song in, we're sitting down and we're like kind of bobbing our heads.
Yeah.
We were on, and including you, sir. So don't be out here. In fact, if you want to see Tebogo dancing, all right, head on over to our social media platforms. It is on TikTok at Channel Africa 1. On Instagram, it's at Channel Africa 1. On Facebook, it's at Channel Africa without the numeric. And on X, it's at Channel Africa 1. YouTube. In fact, I urge you to go into our YouTube because then you can rewind. You can go back and see him dancing. He was on his feet as well.
People. Don't be traumatized on this Easter weekend, please.
It is Cherise C, everybody. And if you are in South Africa, she will be here next month. Check her out. Head on over to our social media platforms, Cherise C, to find out exactly where she will be. And this one is bringing us smack bang to 3 p.m. Central African time.
The latest in news. I tell you what, our technical director, Umont, is like, no, I'm not feeling this one. So you let us know. What did you think of this one? +27 63 406 9126. Let's find out what's happening in news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thanks, Tebogo, and good afternoon. In your headlines, traffic volumes high on South Africa's N4 and Trump's plan to close nearly 30 embassies criticized. Traffic volumes remain high on South Africa's N4 toll road between Mbombela and Komati Sport in Libombo border gate with Mozambique in Mpumalanga province. The Border Management Authority cleared 50,000 people who were crossing from both countries in the past 3 days. BMA Commissioner Dr. Mike Masiapato says that over 80 illegal immigrants were arrested trying to enter and exit the country through illegal borderline crossings. Masiapato says that they have also arrested 7 facilitators who are organizing the illegal crossings. The facilitators have been handed over to police in order to face criminal charges. Meanwhile, there's no heavy traffic congestion at Zimbabwe's Beitbridge border post in South Africa's Limpopo province. Scores of travelers and motorists are being processed at the port of entry as they head to various destinations for the Easter weekend. Border Management Authority, the South African National Defence Force, police and the traffic officers are currently monitoring the flow of traffic and the travellers. A taxi driver, Selby Masindi, says the traffic flow is normal compared to the same period last year.
By this time we recorded 16 last year, currently 20. We are up with 4 fatal crashes as well. We have recorded 4, currently we are at 6. Then the difference is 2. We are not doing well, hence we have taken a decision to recall those who are on leave to come up and augment to the number that we are currently having, that we have deployed. We want to appreciate the collaboration between our law enforcement agency and the multidisciplinary forces that we have deployed. We have come together in collaboration so that we will make sure that we assist one another, because our primary objective is to make sure that our people are safe on the road.
South Africa's International Relations and Cooperation Minister Ronald Lamola says that he is saddened by the passing of South African ambassador in Cote d'Ivoire, Zolani Mchotshisa. Mchotshisa passed away in a hospital in South Africa. Lamola says that the late ambassador was devoted to the maintenance of good political, diplomatic, economic and people-to-people ties between the two nations. Lekhuleni Nompumelelo has more.
Minister Lamola says Ambassador Mchotshisi worked tirelessly to promote South Africa's engagements with Cote d'Ivoire. This includes facilitating the November 2023 relaunch of the SAA's Johannesburg to Abidjan route. The ambassador presented his credentials to the Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara in 2020. He has also been praised for working hard to boost trade between the two countries. Mchotshisi was a political activist who fought against the apartheid regime. Lekhuleni Nompumelelo, SABC News, Johannesburg.
The Ugandan government intends to introduce a law to allow military tribunals to try civilians for certain offences even after the practice was banned by the Supreme Court. Human rights activists and opposition politicians have long accused President Yoweri Museveni's government of using military courts to prosecute opposition leaders and supporters on politically motivated charges. The government denies the accusations. The law has been drafted and is awaiting cabinet approval before it is introduced in parliament. If successfully enacted, the new law could allow the government to take opposition leader Kizza Besigye back to a military court-martial. Historian, researcher, consultant and political and socio-economic analyst Dr. Euston Kasongo Chiputa says that the announcement by the administration of Donald Trump planning to close nearly 30 embassies and consulates around the world may create problems for some developing countries. An internal State Department document outlines a plan to close nearly 30 U.S. embassies and consulates, many of them in Europe and Africa, as part of broader efforts to scale back the federal government's overseas presence. Among the missions reportedly targeted are embassies in Lesotho, South Sudan, and the Central African Republic, as well as consulates in countries like the UK, South Korea, and South Africa. Chiputa says that the move may cost some developing countries like Sudan. For any news stories that you would like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Nolutando Butelezi.
SABC News. The African Perspective. SABC News. The African Perspective.
Seven minutes past 3 p.m. Central African Time. This is The Upside with Nompumelelo Ngubeni and me, Tebogo Lekhuleni. We're coming to you live from the Auckland Park Studios in Johannesburg, South Africa. Follow us on social media so you can stream us live and see exactly how we look like. Not just us, but every other show on Channel Africa. At Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And at Channel Africa on Facebook. Use the hashtag The Upside. Normally we would say this is the final hour. Not today.
exciting.
Very excited. We've got an extended broadcast this afternoon. We'll be ending the show at 5 p.m. Central African time. And
with more music. Just music.
Absolutely.
You know how we do on a Friday here on The Upside. And this time, focusing on that conversation that we had earlier on in the week. Calvin Momo, Red Bull collabo with an orchestra. Okay.
How exciting is that, though?
I can't wait, personally.
Yeah.
I am a fan of Calvin Momo's music anyway. Are you?
Yeah, I am. Everyone says it, right? Is Amapiano is the one that went to private school, so on and so forth. But I just love it. I love his collaborations, also with Abu Babalwa M at some point. There were quite a few. I wonder if some of those collaborations are going to feature during the live production.
Absolutely.
How exciting is that going to be?
They have to bring their entire catalog, quite like Kabzada Small did when he was the first one to collaborate with Red Bull and have an orchestra backing him. So we're going to be finding out from the musical director of this show with Calvin Momo, and that is Adam Howard, who's going to be joining us and telling us a little bit more about what we can expect. In the meantime, perhaps what would be cool for you to do, and maybe it will inspire Adam to add some songs that he had not thought about prior. Let us know which one of Calvin Momo's music or songs is your favorite. And, given enough votes or enough recognition, we may ask Adam to add one or two songs onto the catalog for the evening.
Wazo Amusha has to be there.
Sing it for me. Which one is that again? Just jog my memory quick. Come on now, I know you have it in you.
First of all, my singing abilities are very, very, very questionable.
I know you have it. Which one is it again?
I want to play it.
You can't play it from your phone. We don't roll like that.
I can play it.
Well, no, you can't.
In my ear.
All right. While Tebogo jogs his own memory on it, let us know. It's +27 63 4069 126. Which one of Calvin Momo's songs is your favorite? Tebogo's one is Wamukle. Are you going to sing us out with it?
No.
Hamid?
What? Hamid?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. 10 minutes after 3 Central African time. We're going to get the real deal when we come back.
Este é o Caleidoscópio de Canal África, com Remo Samo e João Yabalá.
O surto da cólera em Angola tem causado grande preocupação, afetando já mais de metade das províncias do país. Simultaneamente, a Agência dos Estados Unidos para o Desenvolvimento Internacional, USAID, um dos maiores doadores mundiais de assistência humanitária, decidiu não priorizar os países com maior incidência de malária. Para discutirmos as causas do alastramento da cólera em Angola e os impactos dessa decisão da USAID, convidamos o Dr. Jeremias Agostinho, médico e mestre em saúde pública, para partilhar a sua visão sobre o tema.
A doença, nesse momento, representa o maior risco de saúde pública que nós temos. Nos últimos anos, a nossa preocupação esteve sempre centrado com os casos de malária, os casos de tuberculose e também de infecção por VIH-Sida. A forma como, em pouco menos de 2 meses, os casos de cólera vêm aumentando, acaba por representar, nessa altura, um dos maiores desafios que o país tem. É expectável que, nesta fase, o número de casos venha a aumentar.
De segunda a sexta-feira, das 20 às 21 horas locais, este é o Caleidoscópio de Canal África.
Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
Nous allons accueillir sur ces plateaux de Mix Vibration un artiste pas comme les autres. Il est exceptionnel. Il se classe résolument dans la trajectoire des artistes qui défendent le patrimoine du folklore africain, mais aussi de la rumba. Ici, Jérémy Tchani.
En tout cas, je vous dis merci à la Channel Africa, à tout le monde qui nous suit. Dans la vie, si tu veux aller loin, il faut comprendre les temps. Il y a ceux-là qui étaient dans leur temps, mais à cause d'une mauvaise conduite, à cause des gens qui l'accompagnaient, à cause de sa famille, à cause beaucoup de choses, son temps passé.
Voilà, donc il faut toujours gérer le temps. Chaque chose a son temps, dit-on. Et la couronne ne dure pas éternellement, dit-on. Donc il faut toujours gérer le temps que Dieu vous a donné sur la terre. C'est le message que Jérémy Tchani nous amène aujourd'hui sur Mix Vibration à Channel Africa.
Mix Vibration, tous les dimanches de 18h à 19h, temps universel.
No fairy tales, just the facts and the music you love on Channel Africa.
sebeqalile bayakhuluma ukushuthi kukhona sekuhamba kahle asikho ngothu mayingakhona Yebo masisukile siyayilandela wepha zongazalanga uyothi wabonani wepha zongazalanga uma sewubona kushesha owazi ukuthi khona la sisuka khona anathi sike sabekezela afuthi khona lapho thina siya khona sebeqalile bayakhuluma ukushuthi kukhona sekuhamba kahle asikho ngothu mayingakhona Yebo masisukile siyayilandela wepha zongazalanga uyothi wabonani wephazo ngazala uma sewubona kushesha owazi ukuthi khona la sisuka khona anathi sike sabekezela afuthi khona lapho thina siya khona balapela Elubale zonke sibusiso balapela Ukubale zonke sibusiso balapela Ukubale zonke sibusiso balapela balapela Ukubale zonke sibusiso balapela Ukubale zonke sibusiso balapela balapela
All right, that one is Bala. Calvin Momo, who is the person, the artist that we will be discussing after it was announced that he'll be collaborating with that energy drink that gives you wings and to give us a night of performance out at the theatre with a full orchestra. I mean, the first time that we had an Amapiano artist do this was with Kabza Small, right? Yeah. Last year, and it was a resounding success. Calvin Momo's music has been called Amapiano that went to private school. I'm not sure what that means. Do you know? What does that mean?
I don't know. It's not as... Actually, no, let me not say I know. No, let me not, because I'm about to say something wrong.
Yeah, no, exactly. I thought you would say something wrong. And his performance with the orchestra is going to be taking place over 2 days, the 6th and the 7th of June, out at the Teatro Monte Casino. But to tell us more is musical director who is renowned, Adam Howard. Adam, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Lovely to be here.
Adam.
It's such a good Friday.
You have
Good Friday, eh?
Quite literally and otherwise, right? We've been having a good time here in studio. Adam, you have a voice of a musician yourself. You know that though, right?
Maybe not a voice, but maybe my voice is translated onto the trumpet or my hands. But I'm not a singer, but it's great to be collaborating.
Yeah. Tell us about that collaboration with, I think there's a bit of a lag, Adam, but tell us about that collaboration with Calvin Momo and, what brought it about?
Well, it's the next, the next installment of Red Bull Symphonic, which is a worldwide phenomenon. Red Bull, as you know, an amazing brand, always pushing the boundaries of every sphere of life, it seems. And they've done Red Bull Symphonic around the world for a few years now. Last year was the first South African installment, and I was the musical director. I was very, very much behind the scenes last year. You may have seen me come out on the trumpet at one point.
Yeah.
But this year, it was such a resounding success last year. I mean, the clash of two worlds, Amapiano and the symphony orchestra. You know, I think Red Bull likes to see what seems unlikely, and let's see if we can make this happen. And it was done in such an amazing way. And Cabs de Small knocked it out of the park last year. So this year, I was approached by Red Bull again to not only musical direct, but to also be the front of the Igoli Symphonic Orchestra, an orchestra that I've curated specifically for this event. Red Bull wanted me to curate an amazing collection of musicians that could translate the symphonic world into the Amapiano world. And I'm absolutely thrilled to say that I'll be conducting the Igoli Symphonic Orchestra this year. And as we try and marry these two worlds together with myself and the symphony orchestra and Kelvin Momo, as you say, the private school guru of Amapiano.
Adam, when the idea was first presented to you, this was now last year with Cubs at the Small, what was your initial reaction? Amapiano orchestra, did that make sense to you? Were you excited about it?
Well, I think getting all the questions from the press or from the public, sort of highlighted how strange or how groundbreaking this was, and people were saying, "How do you do this as an established composer and musician with symphony orchestras? How do these two worlds meet?" And I said, "Well, I've been doing this for 25 years. I've been crossing over the boundary of literally walking out of an orchestra and going onto a BOP bus." Brothers of Peace back in the day, playing with TKZ, Cabello, Arthur Mate, all these. So this is very much my world anyway. It's just that I'm an orchestral musician, but I'm also a musician that's just been as comfortable playing with Brothers of Peace and TKZ. And that's continued throughout the years. In fact, I'm playing with TKZ in a few weeks' time at the Cape Town International Jazz Festival. It's nothing new to me, but it's quite interesting just to see, wow. And I always say, music is a language.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if your dialect is a little bit Amapiano. And Amapiano is full of interesting chords. It's music. It's just a language. So I find it quite interesting that people think that, wow, and I say it's very easy. I speak music. Je parle français, in dictator ici closer. I speak English. But I've had to learn these languages. And I've learned music, and it's just a language. It's just a language. And when it's put in the right hands, and look, I mean, me and Kelvin took 2 seconds to get to know each other because we were speaking music straight away. We're not talking anything more. It's just, my man, we're going to collaborate together and we're going to make music together. And we speak music.
Man, Adam, it sounds fantastic. We want to find out more just after this short break. We are in conversation with renowned musical director Adam Howard. It's 20 minutes after 3 Central African time.
The Midnight Snack, every Monday, 12 to 3 a.m. with Tebogo Lekhuleni.
That is just me trying to imagine myself as a backup singer for Zonke because her music is just beautiful. As the song was playing, I was just, moving like a backup singer. You know how they are. They with their hands being so dramatic and, putting that spice into the song. So the song is called Say Now and we love it here on the Midnight Snack. I hope you also love it.
Let's talk love, intimacy, and relationships on the Midnight Snack with Tebogo Lekhuleni. No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you. This is The Upside for the best African vibes, groundbreaking content.
All right, it is 22 minutes after 3 Central African time. We are still in conversation with Adam Howard of the Igoli Symphonic Orchestra, and we're chatting about his collaboration with Kelvin, as Kelvin Momo headlines that Red Bull Symphonic 2025. Adam, tell us about the music selection. I mean, Kelvin Momo has quite a wide array in his catalog. Who's going to be choosing the songs that will make it for the evening? evening, or is it going to be a collaborative effort?
Yes, no, definitely. I mean, the set list has been ironed out already. I mean, I'm in what's called pre-production. I've got to arrange 17 of Kelvin's songs for a full 32-piece orchestra.
Sure.
So that's a few months' work. So the set list was decided, a few months ago, and that was definitely a collaborative process between Kelvin and between Red Bull. I wouldn't say not so much from me. I think as a musical director, I'm presented with this is our vision. These are our songs, and I know he's got a massive catalogue. So that's already been chosen. It's in front of me. I can't say anything because it's going to be a big surprise, but you can guess about the hits that are going to be played on that night. I mean, I can probably give a few sort of songs away because people would riot. People would riot if it's not there. No, but what we're trying to do, and what we do as Red Bull Symphonic, is not just play hit after hit after hit. We try and see who the artist is and try and decide on his massive catalogue already. I mean, in his few years of being at the top of Amapiano, he's got a massive catalogue already. But what we try and do is really show Kelvin's career and his catalogue chronologically. But also making sure that there's some sort of journey for the audience as well. So it's been a very collaborative process between him and Red Bull for sure.
Adam, it must be quite a challenging task that you've been awarded, because translating the essence, the emotion, the groove-driven style in which Kelvin Momo has his music set out, turning this into an orchestra production must be quite a challenge, no?
Well, yes and no. I mean, a challenge of being able to do that, but I mean, that's been 30 years of hard work and dedication. So when the music's presented to me, I mean, I'm also a composer for brands and advertising commercials, TV commercials, radio commercials. So many times I get advertising agencies coming in and saying, look, this is a genre, or this is something that we like. Is it possible to do something in this style? So I'm always inspired by what's put in front of me, and I truly believe that I could arrange, any piece of music for a full orchestra. It's the inspiration that you get from that source. And I must say, Amapiano, I mean, I've always loved house music. I've always loved electronic dance music in that genre. I literally was there at the birth of Kwaito. I saw Kwaito being born. She's beautiful. And that has morphed after 25 years into house music, black coffee, deep house, but boom, and now Amapiano has got its own, but its mother was definitely house music. It was definitely Kwaito music. So when I was presented with this music, I'm thinking, wow, this is deep house music. This is Amapiano. This is in the genre, but listen to the chords. Listen to Kelvin's chords. Now, by what I mean by chords is not the melody. It's the harmonic information underneath the melodies, and it's beautifully jazzy. I mean, it's very expensive chords. Maybe that's why he's been called, the private school. Because we always say that jazz sounds expensive.
Adam.
And I'm talking.
Go ahead.
And I'm talking about chords. I mean, I'm talking about C major 7th, 9th, 13th, 11th. Whoa, sharp 7th. This is the language that I hear from his music, and I'm thinking, very inspiring. I can hear strings right now.
I love that you mentioned, you gave us a glimpse into, the technical side of it and as to what you hear when you're listening to his music, because I think from laymen, being a classical virtuoso yourself, it's kind of difficult for me at least, to understand how you could translate Amapiano into like a full orchestra, right? So perhaps it would be useful for myself as well as the listeners, if you could just talk us through what components make up an orchestra and what the similarities are in what you hear from Kelvin Momo's music.
Yeah, well, an orchestra is basically a band. So if somebody's got a song like Song Cry, so I've just sang the melody, and because I can't sing more than one note at the same time. If I had my I've got a piano behind me. If I could play the chords now, there's like 4 chords going on there. So then I decide now, in an orchestra, what do I have? Well, I've got different sections of the orchestra. I've got the strings, I've got first violins, second violins, violas, cellos, and double basses. And they get bigger. The violins are small, the violas a little bit bigger, the cello's big. You have to actually put it in between your legs, and you have to stand up to play the double bass. And that is the string section. And I've got 5 different notes to play in that sort of string section. So it can be very, very very, very smooth, or I can tell them to pluck the strings. That's called pizzicato. Dun, 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 dun. So I've got 2 different sounds there. Then I look towards my woodwinds. I've got an oboe, clarinet, bassoon, and a flute. And they blow. So I've got that little bit of color. I'm like an artist. I've got a palette here. So I've got black, I've got white, and I've got everything in between as well. So maybe I want a little bit of blue, and that might be a little bit of strings there. Then I've got the horn section, the brass section. I've got trumpets, I've got French horns. I've got 2 saxes, because also this orchestra needs to morph a little bit as well. It needs to play in a pop sensibility, or a kwaito sensibility, or a amapiano sensibility. So I've got my saxophones in there. You don't really see saxophones in an orchestra, but sometimes we need to go. You don't really hear that in an orchestra, but I've got guys that can do that. Then I've got my rhythm section. I've got the best guys in South Africa playing in the rhythm section. They're all legends in themselves. I mean, the orchestra is an orchestra, but it's a collection of really amazing session musicians that play on all these albums. And then I've got my orchestral timpani. I've got my orchestral xylophones and triangles and wind chimes. So in front of me, I've got this palette of sounds. So it's twofold. I arrange for the orchestra, and I get all the pre-production done. And then in the rehearsals, I put the music in front of the musicians, and then I'm conducting them. Then I'm the sort of beat. I'm getting things out. Are you playing the wrong note? I'm a psychologist. I'm a therapist. I'm a metronome. So a conductor is, so the whole sort of coming together of orchestration and musical direction and conducting and playing the trumpet and turning around and being the face of the orchestra. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm very comfortable in that position.
I mean, it sounds quite complex, but beautiful at the same time, right?
It really does, because for most people, myself included, when we see a conductor, Adam, I'm not going to lie. When I see a conductor directing an orchestra, I think, oh yeah, I can also do that. It seems very easy. Just point your arm, point your finger there, say up and down. But you really have to understand music. You have to understand the notes. You have to understand how each instrument and section or sector comes together in creating this beautiful piece. Adam, after last year's success of Cubs of the Small and an orchestra, are you anticipating more collaborations such as these going forward, not just as a Red Bull symphonic, but going forward, do you anticipate seeing more collaborations like these, especially from the amapiano artists and orchestras?
I think so. I always, in any sort of work that I do, I always think of it as my last gig. You're as good as your last gig, and I never expect anything more to go forward. So I'll be treating this gig exactly like that, as though it's my last gig and giving it my everything. But what I would say that what Red Bull's done, look, I mean, there's been many collaborations before. I mean, an orchestra with a contemporary artist is nothing new. But I think the way that Red Bull present it is something groundbreaking. And I think if it's one thing that it does, it actually makes orchestral, classical, I hate that word, classical music more accessible to
100%.
Somebody that might have thought, that's not my sphere, or that's not my place, or I don't understand it. So, I think one thing it does is that we're all born musical. I mean, I'm not a gifted or God-given talent. It's just a language that I learned. And we're all musical. We all sing in the shower. We all got that song that makes us feel amazing. We just get told along the way that maybe we're not, by usually a bad music teacher or a bad parent. But we're all musical. And I think whether it's the thing about orchestral music is that it did come from Europe, that sort of European classical orchestral thing. But that doesn't mean that music shouldn't be accessible to some people in South Africa because maybe it wasn't presented in the right way. So I think without getting too political or too heavy, I'm saying that I think Red Bull Symphonic really puts orchestral music. Hey, listen to this. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Isn't Amapiano amazing with an orchestra just because it's great music?
I'm glad that you ventured there into a little bit of a political realm of this. I mean, if it's one thing that I did appreciate about last year's collaboration with Red Bull, with Cubs That Are Small, is precisely that the exposure that it gave to the viewers, the revelers, to a completely different realm, right? But also, I mean, there was a part of me, and this probably speaks to my bias, having grown up listening to, being exposed as well to the likes of opera, because my own brother's an opera singer. I thought, when it started with the dancing, people getting up and being a little bit, getting out of what a theatre conduct would typically look like. I thought, I wonder how the orchestra is feeling about this. Tell us about, just the difference in conduct and the mismatch, the blurring of different cultures. Because typically you go to a concert and Mapiano fans will definitely be dancing up on their feet. And now you're at the teatro where people would typically sit down and clap. That discomfort in me, I wonder if it arose in you. Probably not, because you've been dabbling into different genres for a while now.
It's a very good question. You're right. I mean, and I think that's why Red Bull, people are saying, take it to the F&B stadium, take it to Sunday. And of course we could definitely do that. And I think if that happens, great, but that would be a different thing. This is Red Bull Symphonic, where they want to even challenge the spaces that this music is listened to. I mean, I think that's why we're at the Lyric. And that's why now, on my recommendation, actually, because I'm very good friends with the Teatro in Monte Cassino, doing other productions, I said, why not take it to the biggest indoor theatre in South Africa? We can go to I think this could really sell out the F&B stadium, but then it would just be a normal, like we used to that. We're not used to getting people to listen to Amapiano. Now, just to go back, I mean, I've had a very classical upbringing. I've played in orchestras around the world, and throughout all of my career, I've always wondered why do I have to sit upright, and like if I'm doing this in a Beethoven symphony, people are going to think, hey, what's this guy been smoking?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm thinking, why can't I do that? Why can't an audience member, not in the middle of a movement, go, wow, what an amazing flute solo, or in between movements? Why can't they clap? Because it's protocol. I've always battled with that as a top musician myself as well. And in fact, I resigned from playing full time in orchestras about 15 years ago. And I think that was one of the reasons why, because I wanted my musicality to live outside of just that boxed thing.
Sure.
But on saying that, I think my schooling was amazing. It's made me analyze music and be able to speak the language really well. And I think with the Egoli Symphonic Orchestra, and myself, and many players in that band. I mean, Bez Roberts, who plays the trombone, he's been playing with Mafi Kazola and myself for 25 years. Wow. He's also the best orchestral musician I've ever sat with. I'm talking about Samson Diamond or Tsepo Ngoma, who are amazing musicians in themselves. And why can't we marry the energy of Amapiano and orchestral music in the same? So you will see our orchestra. I mean, I literally walked out of the orchestra last year, front of stage, and looked straight at Oskido and said, mate, this is for you, because I played with Oskido for 25 years.
Yeah.
I improvised a bit of Zabalazo, and I just thought it was a big full circle moment. And it was last year, it was at the Lyric Theatre, and it was amazing to see the guys up in the seats. Why can't that happen for Beethoven? Because it's protocol. If music moves you, then get out of your seat and get up. You know what I mean? So it's going to be amazing. For Layla Hathaway last year, and that place was pumping, you know, and I know it's going to be the same for Kelvin as well.
Sure.
Oh, Adam, I'm going to list a few songs from Kelvin Momo, and I'm going to put you on the spot and ask if you will say yes or no. Is it included in this year's Red Bull Symphonic? Can I do that to you?
Go on, then. Yes, you can.
All right. Bokoko.
Or Bogogo. The grandparents or the ancestors. I mean, we can't mess with those guys, can we? I mean,
No.
come on.
Oh, so it isn't. Okay, it isn't. All right.
You know what? I think I can't really say yes or no, but I think if we don't do that one, there might
Okay.
be some ancestral interference.
Fair enough. All right. Wazo wa muhle.
Oh, I love that one as well. If I'm singing the song, then I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
Imagine.
Amalobola.
Oh, the Amalabolo. Again, I think I would be very surprised if people are not listening to that towards the end of the concert.
Okay.
And
All right.
finally, Sugagute.
Suakukude. Okay, yeah. I think to be fair, you're naming his biggest songs right now. I think yeah. So I can promise anybody that's been lucky enough to get tickets. Of course, you know that this concert sold out in 5 hours.
Wait.
Sold out already, Adam?
Oh, guys, it's sold out.
Oh my!
It sold out in 5 hours.
Wait. So does this mean that there's a potential to add an extra date, especially now that we're having this conversation?
That might be something that Red Bull's seriously thinking about. I know that it was a potentiality. I think that's what happened last year.
That is what happened last year, yeah.
So I'm very good friends with the Chatra, and I said, guys, like, geez,
please.
Is this, because I'm a producer as well, I'm producing my own show in a few weeks' time called Swing in Las Vegas with the Johannesburg Big Band. So I'm a producer. And we've not sold out yet. I mean, we're going to break even and hopefully make a little bit of money. But as a producer, it's a precarious thing. I mean, we're going to be selling about 14,000 tickets for that 8-show run.
Sure.
But I've never heard of a concert selling out at the Chatra this quickly. So of course, I rang the management of the Chatra. I said, guys, am I right in saying this? I mean, we've had Lion King here, we've had Chicago here, we've had Layla Hathaway here, we've had Seal here, we've had, and they said Janet Jackson, I think 18 years ago, sold out 2 performances. Tickets were 4,000 a performance, and she sold out in 3 hours. So, but I think, we've broke the local record. We smashed it out of the park. And I've performed at the Chatro for hundreds and hundreds of gigs over 20 years, and I've never been part of a gig that sold out so quickly. So,
My goodness. Adam, tell us a little bit about the performance that you are putting together. You said with the one that's
with
coming up in
Johannesburg
Big Bang. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. Where
it's called Swing in Las Vegas. It's all about the stars that have made Vegas. Now I'm talking all the way back with Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack, Ella Fitzgerald, Nat King Cole, Natalie Cole. But hey, I thought, wait on. Let's not just do a history lesson here. Swing in Las Vegas is honoring all the stars that made Vegas. So why can't I do Lady Gaga or Oasis or Lionel Richie or Elton John? So basically, it's big band razzmatazz. I'm conducting the big band. My friends at Red Bull will be there on the guest list coming down to see that. It really is. If you love big band music and you love swing music, I'm talking, the best is yet to come, fly me to the moon. So I'm more from big band into quieter, into amapiano, into orchestral, into TKZ in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
After Cape Town, we go to Gaborone and we're playing at a festival there. So I've never boxed myself in. If people find that sometimes, whoa, like where do I fit in? It's just like, anywhere. But yeah, guys must come down to the Chatra at Monte Casino if you like a big band. Tickets have not sold out, but they're selling out.
Adam, I mean, you're known for blurring the lines, and we cannot wait. I'm hoping that there will be one more date added to that. I mean, I don't know how we weren't aware that both dates had sold out.
I think there might be riots. There might be Kelvin Momo support riots. In fact, there's an open letter written to Red Bull saying, please put on an extra performance. So I'm sure they're under pressure right now.
Give us the scoop, seeing as you are good friends with Teatro and you have friends at Red Bull. Just whisper in our ear, you think there's a high chance of it happening?
I don't think. I feel like I'm a politician now. I'm not in a position to make that comment.
You can't whisper.
I know. One thing that Red Bull does is listen to its supporters and its people. So yeah, I'm sure there's a big discussion going on now. Yeah, but hey, I mean, maybe Kelvin's not available. He's a busy boy.
Yeah, that's also true. Adam, thank you so much for your time this afternoon, and we cannot wait to hear and see what it is that you put together for the 6th and the 7th of June.
Thank you so much, guys. Pleasure talking to you.
That is renowned musical director Adam Howard. Tell us if you're one of the lucky people that got tickets in what?
In 5 hours.
Sure.
In less than 5 hours.
Are you?
Out.
Let us know.
For
Maybe
both days.
Send us a picture of your ticket.
So we're not going to use it. We just want to see. We just want to see if it's the real McCoy. That's all we want to do. All right. +27 63 406 9126 is the WhatsApp line. Are you excited about it? It sounds a brilliant initiative. Last year when Cubs at a Small did it, if social media was a buzz. On the streets, people, wow, first of its kind. Oh, it's never been done before. Now I want to know if we can potentially, yes, FNB Stadium is a potential for in the next couple of years. Let's sign a couple of petitions and let's make it happen.
I don't want to see it in a stadium.
Oh no! What do you mean? Oh, Nompumelelo, wait.
I don't want to see it
You
in a
do
stadium.
not want to see an orchestra and amapiano collaboration at an FNB Stadium.
No.
Explain your reason.
It will just feel like another concert. And I think Adam is with me on this one.
So you want to be prim and proper at a theatre?
I mean, as you could see from last year's images, no one was prim and proper, and that's the beauty of it, challenging the spaces, right?
Even more reason why it has to be at a stadium.
Oh, all right. Let's get one more piece of music, and when we come back, it is What Caught Your Eye.
Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine, weekdays 6 till 9.
We continue with our coverage of recent arrests of activists and journalists in Harare during Monday's mass stay-away and protest. Dr. Tadini Masaya, who's the Secretary for the Information and Media of the United Zimbabwe Alliance, an opposition party founded in March 2022.
Every Zimbabwean is entitled to expressing themselves, whether they are ZANU-PF or they belong to any other political party or they do not. So what Geza and those that believe in his code did is within their rights. However, we also fully acknowledge that it is an internal fight, and as UZA, we did not participate in that internal fight. We are not going to be used as pawns as what happened in 2017 to usher in a different face for ZANU-PF. It does not matter who is the face of ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is going to remain the same.
Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine. Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802. Connecting Africa to the world. The Upsides. Your daily dose of inspiration, innovation, and untold stories from across Africa. With Nompumelelo and Tebogo.
Yeah. baby ngithanda ngayo. Mele wazi umlingo sebenza ngaphakathi kwayo. Mele hlale yazi ukuba wena uyohlala uhlele njengethemba kuyo. Uyinzwakazi yami, ngikukabisile baby wami. Mina ngazenza nomuntu kahle, waze wamuhle, sengibona wena. Mina ngazenza nomuntu kahle, waze wamuhle, sengibona wena. Ngingayele ekhaya, ngibonwa umuzi wami, ngiphume nobambelwane. Celani elezele bantu bakithi, nasi simemezelo bantu bakithi. Abena uthethi, phela unyaka yena uruta mkhethi. Angikaze ngithande kanje, angikaze ngithande kanjena, angikaze, angikaze. Mina ngazenza nomuntu kahle, waze wamuhle, sengibona wena. Mina ngazenza nomuntu kahle, waze wamuhle, sengibona wena.
Channel Africa, your voice, your sound, and your home. Stay locked right here. Ahoy, matey.
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or at Channel Africa One. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa One. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Fresh and exciting. The Upside, hooking you up with today's news from the African perspective.
It's 8 minutes before 4 p.m. Central African time. Welcome back to The Upside. Beautiful music there coming to you from Kelvin Mom.
Absolutely.
Wazawamuhle featuring Mashudu. We had spoken to Adam about potentially this song being in the orchestra in the production in June.
And he said it's going to be one of
Well, he
the
didn't
last
confirm. He
songs.
didn't confirm, but yes.
I mean, you need to kind of read between the lines with these things, you know? He can't overtly say it.
All right. So we are saying it here on the upside. It will be there. Anyway.
Definitely.
What caught your eye? Can I start this?
Absolutely. Please go ahead.
Because I came across something very interesting that's happening in Nigeria. A makeup artist was sentenced to 6 months in jail for abusing the currency, the naira, by flinging it while dancing at his wedding celebration. This was last year in December.
And they do that a lot. I mean, I've seen celebrations, weddings. You'll see just the bride and the groom being showered, quite literally, with notes. And people are dancing on these notes. I mean, inadvertently because, you know, it's on the floor.
Exactly. But apparently that's illegal in Nigeria, right? According to the 2007 Central Bank of Nigeria Act, it states that the spraying of, dancing or marching on the naira is an offense, with punishment being no less than 6 months in prison or a 50,000 naira fine, which is about $32, or both. This person, he got 6 months in jail because of that.
Makes sense. They call it's the abuse clause in the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission of Nigeria. And they also say scribbling or any writing on the notes. But it also affects the coins there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I don't know how, you know, sometimes you find coins that have been damaged by either knocking on that could also land you in jail for about 6 months or longer. I wonder what that means for celebration. Do they have to get monopoly money now?
Well, yeah, that's what some people are doing, right?
Oh, really?
No, fake money.
Oh, my goodness,
It's a real thing because they still want to continue with the tradition and the money throwing and so on and so forth. But now they are using fake money, or now they are just discreetly taking that money and putting it into a little box, in a little kitty.
Yeah.
So it's not publicly displayed that they are throwing money at these people. But some people on social media are very much against it. They're like, that's a very harsh sentence. This is someone's money. It's their own money. It's not like they stole the money. And saying that it's a very harsh sentence to imprison someone for 6 months for celebrating their money the way they chose how to.
Well, no, it's not just as simple as that, right? There are implications for damaging actual money because this is money that has to be printed ever so often. And you can't just go as a functioning economy, not to Zimbabwe. You can't just print money willy-nilly. The government knows that this is however often money is printed, this is how much we're going to be printing. So if coins and notes are damaged in the interim, that's money that's no longer in circulation and cannot be moving around in the economy, right? That's number one. Number two, monopoly money is a way to go about it. But I'm just shocked at how ineffectively police and authorities have been able to enact this law. I mean, since 2007, only 24 individuals have been arrested for violating this law. Clearly, police and law officials aren't interested in enacting it, but also because they're not invited to the celebrations. So
No, but besides them not being invited, I think when they do see it happening, they sort of like, you know what?
We also celebrate like
we also celebrate like this anyway. But some people really on social media, like, it's a very harsh sentence. It's their own money. Let them be.
No,
go after
it's
bigger,
the country's
go after
money,
bigger
guys.
criminals. Don't let people spend their own money, print it out and stamp on it the way they choose to. So there's a bit of a yin-yang, those who are for it and those who are saying
there are material and very dire consequences for the country's economy if money is not circulating as it should. Sorry, it's not just your money. You can do whatever you want with it.
I mean, listen, I blame hip-hop music videos.
They're the one that started this culture
Thank you very much.
I
Yes,
see it. I see
exactly.
it. I think you're right.
So what must we do now? We must follow suit and do the same thing. But anyway, yeah, that's what happened. That's what caught my eye.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Was it a harsh sentence? Do you agree that, yes, they needed to go to jail because they are disrespecting the Naira, the currency of the country? Plus 2763 406 9126 is the WhatsApp line. And follow us on social media at Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and at Channel Africa on Facebook.
Let us know what you make of that law. But we are making way now for... No, we're not.
No,
we're not. We're making way for Tebogo Lekhuleni, who is going to be taking over the very final hour of the extended and special broadcast of The Upside. So stay tuned. More beautiful music coming up for you, and the mellifluous voice of Tebogo Lekhuleni between 4 and 5 p.m. Central African Time.
Absolutely.
I am out of here, Tebogo.
What are your plans for the weekend?
For the weekend?
For the weekend, yeah. The weekend is starting now after you leave,
yeah,
obviously.
It's too long to say. Certainly church. I mean, I think church will be the large part of my plans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all the best and be safe on the road.
You enjoy the rest of your birthday weekend.
Appreciate that.
Travel safely. Don't have too much fun. Don't have reckless fun. We want to see you back here on Monday in one piece.
If I don't come back on Monday, that means the fun was extended. Maybe for an extra week. So I'm just bracing you in advance.
It's still early days, Tebogo. Hey, it's still early days on the show, so don't do that.
Listen, more music coming up next on The Upside.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Good afternoon. In your headlines, Rwanda agrees to allow SADC troops to evacuate, and U.S. Democratic Party senator meets U.S. prisoner. Rwanda has agreed to allow troops deployed by the Southern Africa bloc to fight rebels in the East Democratic Republic of Congo to evacuate from the rebel-held city of Goma through its territory to Tanzania. The Southern African Development Community said in mid-March that it had terminated the mandate and would begin a phased withdrawal of its force from Congo. 3 diplomats with knowledge of the ongoing talks between Rwanda and SADC confirmed that Rwanda had accepted a request for the force's troops to pass through the country by land. Traffic volumes remain high on South Africa's N4 toll road between Mbombela and Komati Port in Libombo border gate with Mozambique in Mpumalanga province. The Border Management Authority cleared 50,000 people who were crossing from both countries in the past 3 days. BMA Commissioner Dr. Mike Masiapato says that over 80 illegal immigrants were arrested trying to enter and exit the country through illegal borderline crossings. Masiapato says that they have also arrested 7 facilitators who are organizing the illegal crossings. The facilitators have been handed over to police to face criminal charges. South Africa's Department of Health is urging worshippers and families to exercise caution around rivers and dams, particularly in flooded areas when gathering for prayer or camping as weather conditions continue to change. This appeal comes as thousands of religious groups are expected to gather at riverbanks during the season for baptisms and other rituals. Gauteng Province member of the Executive Council for Health and Wellness, Nomantu Nkomoralehuku, says that emergency services have been deployed to assist throughout the long weekend. Some cargo trucks heading to Zimbabwe and Malawi have expressed happiness on the processing of travelers at the Beitbridge border post in Musina, South Africa. The drivers say that they did not queue for long hours for processing of their documents. They say that the situation has improved compared to the same period last year. And then finally, the U.S. Democratic Party Senator Chris Van Hollen says that he has met with Kilma Abrigo Garcia, who was wrongly deported to El Salvador by the Trump administration last month. He said that he would give full details of their meeting on his return to the United States. Let's take a look at the top story. Rwanda has agreed to allow troops deployed by the Southern Africa bloc to fight rebels in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo to evacuate from the rebel-held city of Goma through its territory to Tanzania. For any news stories that you would like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I am Nolutando Butelezi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
It is 4 minutes past 4 p.m. Central African Time. Welcome to the extended final hour of The Upside. This time with just me, Tebogo Lekhuleni. We'll somehow make this a boys' night out or boys' afternoon out. Let's have some real conversations that plague you. We're coming live from the Auckland Park Studios in Johannesburg, South Africa, and you can stream us live on our website www.channelafrica.co.za. Download the SABC Plus app on your Android or iOS device so you can travel with us wherever you go. On DSTV, it's channel 802. OpenView, it's channel 628. And if you would like to see exactly how we look like in studio, stream us live on our social media platforms at Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and at Channel Africa on Facebook. Use the hashtag #TheUpside. It's going to be an hour of music. I'm excited about it because we're going to play some of your favorite jams, songs that you haven't heard in a minute, or songs that you've heard yesterday, but now you're going to hear it on radio, which is even better. There's something about hearing a song on radio. It just sounds better than if you just played it off your phone or on your headsets. Is it just me? Anyway, I've got a question that I would love for you to answer through our WhatsApp line, +27 63 406 9126. And be honest. Are you team long voice note or team just call me? Some people send podcasts when they send you voice notes. There are some that I still have to go through because they are so long. Are you team long voice notes when you want to communicate with your friends and convey your day or your frustrations? Or just call me. Let's talk about it now over the phone live. +27 63 406 9126. Let's not waste any more time. Some music coming your way. This is The Upside.
Africa in Song with Tebogo Lekhuleni.
So the artist that I just played now went by the name A.B. Cresto. So A standing for Alfred, B for Benjamin. What's your take on people having two names? Is it because maybe you can't decide on a name?
I've heard people saying that they are named because of whatever that was happening.
Things I always see now. I'm sure now a baby born in the Eastern Cape is called Nama Tarif.
You see now. Or it was a born baby when it was, what do you call these things we used to pay for men driving?
Nama Iton.
Nama Iton, listen.
Well, Nama Confident is leaving.
Africa in Song with Tebogo Lekhuleni.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
The Upside, taking the African perspective to fresh levels.
One day I found myself falling in love with you. The spell I'm under is floating on a feeling, and just a single smile between us, silent words that lead the way to a place we're together, and our love can grow strong, growing stronger together. We'll weather whatever the consequence brings. In the meantime, must be careful to not treat love lightly. We have to nurture this precious little wonder. Caresses lead us from our infancy. We must learn the consequence, our commitment together. Then our love can grow strong, growing stronger together. We'll weather whatever the consequence brings. In the meantime, as we float around the world, we live in the bridges of love only. Every time another heart is breaking, the bridge seems far away. So we swim into the dark and sing as the lovers steal away. Every scene another film, we live in the bridges of love only. As we float into the world, we live in the bridges of love only. Every moment that a heart is breaking, the bridge seems far away. So we swim into the dark and sing as the shadows peel away. Every skin another world, we live in the bridges of love only. You make me want to improve as a person. You make me want to live life in every moment, and just a single smile between us, tender words that lead the way to a place we're together. Then our love can grow strong, growing stronger together. We'll weather whatever the consequence brings. In the meantime, as we float around the world, we live in the bridges of love only. Every time another heart is breaking, the bridge seems far away. So we swim into the dark and sing as the lovers steal away. Every scene another film, we live in the bridges of love.
Just the facts and the music you love on Channel Africa.
Does it not take you somewhere special, make you think about the people around you who are special, that you want to treasure and make feel special? And just a reminder that, hey, I see you. You are cherished. You are loved. You are adored. And before that, we had Eric Moyo with Love Only. Just a reminder that sometimes love really is all that we need. If you felt that one, if you felt touched, you're not alone. We feel the same thing. Eric Moyo, he was the first East African Idol winner. This was in 2007, right? And this song, Love Only, oh, what a beautiful one. He passed away, unfortunately, in 2023, in December, but left us with this beauty of a song. It's 18 minutes past 4 p.m. Central African Time. Happy weekend. Happy Easter weekend. How are you spending it? Are you with your family? Are you traveling? Are you on the road? Are you at work? Like we are right now. Let us know. +27 63406 9126. And chime in on an earlier conversation I was having and asking the question, do you send long voice notes to convey your messages to your friends, podcast style voice notes, or do you prefer calling someone live? And let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's get it over and done with. Which one do you prefer? +27 63 406 9126. I'll be with you all the way to 5 p.m. Central African time on this extended special edition of The Upside. We're coming to you live from the Auckland Park Studios in Johannesburg, South Africa. Stream us live on our social media platforms so you can see our faces, see how we look like. Does the face match the voice? You can decide. At Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, and TikTok, and at Channel Africa on Facebook. Use the hashtag The Upside. Oh, you can also stream us on YouTube as well. It's 20 minutes past 4 p.m. Central African time. This is The Upside.
You've taken all over.
Africa at Play, Asteleli Siashaya. Africa's velvet voice is in the house. Africa at Play is a place to be, where we speak all things sport and music, from the African continent to the rest of the world. We speak to your bundles of joy in sport, 12-year-olds and below, teenagers in sport, and we speak to elite athletes, administrators, coaches, and all the behind-the-scenes stakeholders of sport and music. Africa at Play, Asteleli Siashaya. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa.
This is my decision. This is my
Fresh levels.
Low-key, all of them done they notice. I'm not joking, all my guys, them know me. Since '06, I've been writing this story. I know be OG, but if you ask them know me. I know they blow trees, only lonely me lonely. Music chose me, just know this and know peace. I get low-key, but I'm never lonely. Sexy ladies, come wife me slowly.
DML with Ashake, Bandana. Before that, we had Thames with Me and You. And then we had a song by Flavor. Well, it's actually not by Flavor. Flavor featured in this song. It was by Iku Foriji Olaitan Abdul Rahman, better known as Oxlade, featuring Flavor, the song called Ovami. It's coming from his album Oxlade from Africa. And that very same album, you'll find Ifa, you'll find Kuloso, or Kulosa is how you say it properly. Beautiful music coming your way on the upside. My name is Tebogo Lekhuleni, and I'm keeping you company all the way to 5 p.m. Central African time on this extended special version edition of the upside. And I would love to know from you, what are your plans for the weekend? It's Easter weekend. Some people are traveling, going to churches. Some are working or just lazing around, recovering from the week that was. What are your plans for this weekend? Let us know on our WhatsApp line, +2 763 406 9126. And don't forget to follow on social media at Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, and TikTok, and at Channel Africa on Facebook. You can also stream us on YouTube as well. Use the hashtag #TheUpside. All right, we're going to have some more music coming your way on the upside. Do you have any special requests? I'd love to hear from you, actually. I know a request that I have personally, and I don't know, maybe Nanda there in technical can find a song by the boys in Sao Tome and Principe, Kalema. I don't know. I wonder if they have one of my favorite songs there. It's called Perfume. Perfume o Te Amo. Kalema. That's my song request anyway. If you have any song requests that you want to submit, let us know. +2 763 406 9126. More music coming your way.
She wanna chill with the big boys. She want money, she want enjoy. When she with me, give her ding dong. She in my feet with the big boy. She wanna chill with the big boys. She want money, she want enjoy. When she with me, give her ding dong, make her enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. With a big boy, I'm a big boy, enjoy. Give her big fuss, I'm a enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. With a big boy, I'm a big boy, enjoy. Give her big fuss.
Big boy, yeah, she let it call me Poppy. Late at night, yeah, she ride it like a Harley. Anything you want just to make you happy. Dinner time, yeah, chew it like a chappy. Down piece on my side like I'm over. Lucky, lucky like a 4-leaf clover. Kill it, dumb till it's over. Love drunk, baby, give me hangover. You know the vibe, I'm so fine, I cannot control my eye. And I no reply when the streets hit me up, I know be shy. Baby, you a dream, forever my queen.
She wanna chill with the big boys. She want money, she want enjoy. When she with me, give her ding dong. She in my feet with the big boy. She wanna chill with the big boys. She want money, she want enjoy. When she with me, give her ding dong, make her enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. With a big boy, I'm a big boy, enjoy. Give her big fuss, I'm a enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. With a big boy, I'm a big boy, enjoy. Give her big fuss, yeah. Bébé, qu'est-ce que tu fais, dis-moi tu es prêt, Je veux expliquer, give me couple seconds. I go pick you in a phantom, we can go to Santa. I go drop a couple racks on because you a bad man. Take that for me, I go write you a lesson. That's how me, I go bless you and take you up. Your love for me, if you want it, I give it up, give it up. If you bet that for me, I go write you a lesson. That's how me, I go bless you and drink. Your love for me, if you want it, I give it up.
802.
Nilikupigia simu chaji kakata, nikakutilia timu mjengoni sijakupata, akili karuka wazimu, takulaje bata, we ni mtu muhimu nikiwa nawe najipata. Halo, 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 halo.
.co.za pour avoir une chance de rejoindre la famille Channel Africa. Si vous n'avez pas de réponse après 14 jours, cela signifie que vous n'avez pas été retenu. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
The Upside, taking the African perspective to fresh levels.
Angisafuni kucabanga babe, kuthi kukhona lomhle kunawe. Ngithi khanza ngikuqe ngematolo, nalenda ndatho edayimane esandleni sami. Ngicela kunye nje kuphela baby, kuthi uvume kuba ngumngami. Lamhla ngidibaniza lilanga nenyanga, ngithi asekube kunye kukhanye phakathe. Lamhla ngidibaniza mina nawe, ngithi asesibe kunye kunaphakathe. Kaluvuma baby lamhla, vuma, vuma. Kaluvuma baby lamhla, vuma, vuma. Kusho tuvuma baby ngisafuni kucabanga yeah uthi kukhona lo mhleko nawe ethi khanza sengiguce ngemathulo nalenda ndatho yedayimani isandleni sami icela kunye nje kuphela baby kuthi uvume kubanga umngani hey lamhla ithibanisa lilanga nenyanga ngithi asekube kunye kukhanye phakathe lamhla ngithibanisa mina nawe ngithi asesibe munye kunaphakathe vuma baby ngicela uvuma baby lamhla kushoda uvuma baby yeah yeah kushoda uvuma baby lamhla ngithi lamhla ngithibanisa lilanga nenyanga asekube kunye kukhanye phakathe lamhla ngithibanisa mina nawe ngithi asesibe munye kunaphakathe vuma baby kushoda uvuma baby lamhla ngicela uvuma baby ngithi vuma baby lamhla usube wami kuna usube wami kuna phakathe ngicela uvuma baby usube wami kuna usube wami kuna phakathe.
Yo, you hear those lyrics? Angisafuni kucabanga ukuthi kukhona lo ngcono kunawe. If they're not saying that to you, my sister, please throw away the whole man. You don't need him. Vuma by Sands. Then we had Lava Lava with Tahiri and Manu World Star with Tiani Africa and Vuga M Beats with Big Boys. Welcome to the Upside with Tebogo Lekhuleni. I will be with you all the way to 5 p.m. Central African Time. If you've just joined us, we're coming to you live from the Auckland Park Studios in Johannesburg, South Africa. And you can stream us live on www.channelafrica.co.za or see our faces now on social media at Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and at Channel Africa on Facebook. Use the hashtag The Upside. So there was an interesting altercation that happened. Was it a couple of days ago, yesterday, somewhere there, involving a very well-known news anchor by the name of Eldrin Sampier. It was a road rage incident. In this incident, it appears that, so I'm not going to make assumptions and tell you exactly what happened, but it appears that Eldrin may have hit the car of another lady. And in the video, we see him it's sort of like a screaming match. It's going viral on social media. And he's sort of shouting at her and saying, why, according to him, it's like, why did you use the middle finger? And the lady's like, no, why did you hit me? Is it going viral? Yes, because he's a public figure. But do we hold our public figures and our celebrities, our people who are in the public eye, do we hold them to higher regard when it comes to road rage, things that affect every single human being? If you're on the road, whether you're a public figure or not, you may have encountered some road rage yourself. Is it viral because he is a public figure and we would not be expecting him to be responding the way that he did? Do we expect the public figures to be a bit more calm, a bit more demure, and not have a screaming, shouting match when these things happen, when life happens? What do you think? What did you think about the incident? Weigh in on this conversation. +2763 406 9126. I believe an assault charge has been laid against Eldrin St. Pierre because of this. And again, we're asking the question, these things get escalated so quickly. Is it because they are public figures, or indeed justice needed to be served in that moment? What do you think? If you came across the video where you saw it yourself and you're able to unpack and tell us exactly how it played out or how it should have played out, did he handle it in the best way possible in that situation? How would you have handled it if you were involved in a road rage incident yourself? Are you demure in that moment? Are you able to say, okay, cool, let's just be calm? This happened. Let's call the insurances. Let's notify the authorities, and be of sound mind. Or do you rage in that moment yourself? Does everything go red? Let us know. +2763 406 9126. We're certainly hoping that there won't be any more road rage incidents on the road, especially this Easter weekend. We're hoping that you'll be safe on the road, traveling to see your friends, family, traveling for religious, you're going to church. Just be safe. And when it comes to road rage, someone said anything that has to do with rage and anger, count to 10 before you respond. I don't know how practical that is when you're actually in the moment, but maybe you've tried it. Maybe before things went all red, you counted to 10 and it calmed you down a bit. But let us know what you think, and also let me know where you will be this weekend. Are you traveling? Are you at home? Are you at work? We'd love to hear from you. +2763 406 9126. Before I let you go and hand over to Vuda Frik with Joel, let's listen to some more music. This is The Upside on Channel Africa.
Tumankumbula lapho ngiphuma khona. I'll show you your future. Talking angels. Wakungekho ukuhlakanipha kwa. Nami ngasizwa inkabiza. To mama wathi ngibonisa abangani bakhe and I'll show you your future. Talking angels. Tabaseka abangani. Mamtholile bongumdali. Ngoba la ngaphandle nzima nyakutshela wemfowethu. Samane inyoka zibiza bafowethu. I thank God for le nkabe nazo. Loku ngiphusha ngithanda nazo. They saved me. Bafake full tank imabu iya. Tumankumbula lapho ngiphuma khona. Bekungekho lula but I made it anyway. Tumankumbula mama lapho ngiphuma khona.
opportunity. Just drugs and violence, Avalon, and City. I'm a Kumshara, only ones feeding their families. All my life I believed I would be nothing. When you become the one, they treat you like a king. Mama Meti, watch the company you keep. But if it wasn't for Abangani Bami, what would Socha be? Ingilo Sizami, Zanyen Zumunte Bandi. Runkulunkulu kofi wengami agananda bangami nakiva panami. If it wasn't for one alaba bangani bami ngabekeli lengami. Usatane could have really had his way with me. Umama Meti, watch the company you keep. Today I'm glad Uguti I didn't listen. Tumankumbula Lapumpumakona but I made it anyway. To Mankumbula, mama, La Pumpumakona. They won't make a loon, but I made it anyway. To Mankumbula, Emakaya. Baby, crash me and my cousins used to play. Yeah, ngiyakumbula ngale zindaba.
Java featuring MT and Saudi. It's 6 minutes before 5 p.m. Central African time. Welcome to the last 5 minutes of The Upside, a special extended edition of The Upside. We've been with you all the way to 5 p.m. from 1 p.m. Central African time. But we are now about to hand over to Joël Moteba with Vue d'Afrique. Joël, bonjour.
Ah, bonjour. Tebogo.
Oh, that's all I know.
Really?
How do I say, how are you?
Comment ça va?
Comment ça va, Joël?
Ça va bien, et toi?
Bien.
You just say ça va, it's okay.
Ça va.
Ça va, yes, it's okay.
Ça va.
Merci.
Joël, thank you so much. Thank you for
Alors
teaching
bonjour
me.
à tous les auditeurs de Channel Africa et particulièrement de Vue d'Afrique. Alors restez connectés parce que tout à l'heure sur Vue d'Afrique, il sera question de la guerre d'agression dans l'est de la RDC. Les États-Unis, donc Washington, réitèrent leur position du retrait des troupes rwandaises de la RDC. Nous parlerons également de la Côte d'Ivoire, Tidjane Thiam, désigné candidat du PDCI, mais aussi de la Cour suprême gambienne qui se déclare compétente pour examiner une plainte qui exige la dépénalisation de la pratique des mutilations. C'est tout à l'heure sur Vue d'Afrique. Merci de rester connecté. Merci Tebogo.
Merci Joël. I had party there somewhere. I wasn't sure.
Party? No, there's no party.
There's no party.
Not
oh,
at all.
I had incorrectly. Anyway, Vue d'Afrique coming up next at 5 p.m. Central African time on Channel Africa. Remember to download the SABC Plus app on your Android or iOS device so you can take us with you wherever you go. Stream us on social media so you can see our faces. We are streaming live now in studio at Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and at Channel Africa on Facebook. It's been a fun afternoon. I hope that you are safe where you are, traveling safe, be safe on the road this weekend. If you're with your family, enjoy that time together. Rest. We've got a brand new week coming up, and I want you to have a fantastic time. Before I let you go, I know this is going to sound very, very strange, and I know it's going to sound like I made it up, okay? But I did not make it up. Okay, I'll start off by saying that everyone involved in this incident is alive and without injuries. Okay, there was a helicopter crash in South Africa, and the reason or the cause was a penguin that was unsecured. Okay, so the pilot was sitting right next to a specialist holding a box with a penguin. They were transferring the penguin, and the penguin was in a box. It was not secure. It was not in a cage, right? And unfortunately, the penguin tilted over, maybe because of weight, and fell onto the lever. And the lever was controlling the trajectory of the helicopter, and it pushed it down, and it crashed. Anyway, I didn't mean to spoil your weekend. I just wanted to share that penguins can be a problem. It's giving Penguins of Madagascar. Anyway, news coming up at the top of the hour, and then Vudafrik with Joël Mutiba. Goodbye.
Ain't this what you came to see? Let me be your muse. I'll inspire you in ways you won't believe. 50 shades and hues, tailor-made for you. Draw me in, look at what you started. Go with your hands, can you be my body? Go ahead and brush up on me. Baby, when you want it, sign it, dotted. I'll be your peace. I'll be your peace. I'll be your peace. Your ART. Study my face, frame. Put me on the wall above the staircase. If you show me off, I'll be your peace. Your ART. Fresh out the gallery. Can you handle me? Handle me carefully. I'll be yours to keep. I'm your centerpiece. Make the canvas speak. When you draw me in, look at what you started.
Channel Africa, we think differently. The African perspective.
Vue d'Afrique, un magazine des actualités en français sur Channel Africa. Rendez-vous du lundi au vendredi avec Joël Mutiba sur Channel Africa de 15h à 16h, temps universel. Channel Africa, la perspective.